This is Tim.
This is Jonathan.
Long before The Shape of Water introduced audiences to an interspecies romance,
Before Tobey Maguire ever donned the red and blue spandex,
and before America's ass united the Avengers to defeat Thanos,
there was a talking, cigar-smoking, wisecracking duck from outer space.
That's right, folks. We're diving into the most important Marvel movie ever made. The film that paved the way for the MCU as we know it. The Citizen Kane of interdimensional duck cinema. The crown jewel of 80s cult chaos.
Howard the Duck.
It's a movie so ahead of its time, audiences just weren't ready to buy tickets.
Or maybe they were too ready, and that's what scared them.
We're talking laser guns, evil space overlord demons, duck romance, and Leah Thompson in the most 80s rock attire imaginable.
And an animatronic duck costume that cost $2 million and still looked like something out of an off-brand Chuck E. Cheese nightmare.
So grab your Play Duck magazines, warm up your laser cannons, and get ready for a deep dive into Marvel's greatest cinematic achievement to date. We're not talking about this film alone. We've got two awesome guests joining us for this deep dive into duck-fueled mayhem. We have Travis from the Nightclub podcast. Very familiar with him, I'm sure.
And also with us, representing the Kilt and the Redneck podcast, a man unafraid to wade through the cinematic chaos. Evan, welcome aboard. Good to have you back.
Thanks for having us, guys.
We're excited to have you too, especially on such short notice. Thank you guys for being willing.
I didn't know I could say hi. My bad.
You can say hi.
I'm that junkie that's in the alleyway in the beginning that says he's tooted up and he's imagining that he's seeing a duck that's talking. I'm him.
I'm that guy on the bus that's like, that's a duck. That's a duck, man.
I'm not going to tell you which guy I am. I watch.
Don't be ginning. That's all I can say.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Be Howard when he's in the bed with her.
I watched this movie for Leah Thompson. So.
Yes, yes, love me some Leah Thompson.
Yep,
she was a favorite of mine back in the day.
So, what exactly do we do here on The Average? We take a movie, we dissect it piece by piece, and score it across those different categories: script, direction, acting, music, and that all-important enjoyment level. We total up those scores and give you an idea of why you might think something is a 4-star movie or if it's an absolute disaster.
And we don't just want to hear our own voices on this. We want you to be a part of the chaos. Submit your own scores using one of the 3 methods found on our Instagram. Did Howard the Duck change your life, or should it be blasted back into the cosmic void? Let us know.
While you're at it, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your fix of movie madness. It helps us keep the lights on and the bad jokes coming.
All right, let's get weird. Let's get wild. Let's get quacking.
Oh, you did it. You delivered that. You delivered that. All right, so Howard the Duck. The story of Howard the Duck. Let's dive into it, guys. So Howard the Duck, the movie opens with one of my favorite segments of the film, which was actually filmed after, if I remember correctly from my research. It was added later because they wanted to show Duck World. But we open up in Duck World, see the Play Duck magazine, Rolling Egg magazine, Breeders of the Lost Ark. That one is, don't Google that now.
Oh shit.
It's amazing. Duck World is amazing. But then Howard the Duck, our titular character, gets sucked to our world. We don't know why for a solid 45 minutes of the movie. It's kind of the first part of the movie. And then it's about Howard trying to figure out how to get home, along with a whole bunch of other shenanigans that happen along the way. What do we think? And some I'm going to be honest. The duck romance is really uncomfortable for me. It's weird.
That was weird as hell.
Yeah,
dude.
absolutely.
She's ready to hop into bed with him so fast.
Ducks have a corkscrew penis.
I wasn't gonna say it. I wasn't gonna say it, but
That's
yeah.
a funny
She pulled
thing
out
that
that
you said
condom.
because when I was watching it earlier, me and Alex, my daughter, we were watching it, and she said, "Dad, that's a little bit strange," and I was like, "It's not as strange as what you think, baby. That corkscrew penis thing ain't no joke."
I
didn't tell her that, but I was thinking in my brain, I was like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna tell a damn thing to you, but I'm thinking it."
Well, I like how this movie opens. Ever since I was a little kid, a little backstory on this for me, because this is like one of my favorites from my childhood.
Same.
So, right on, Tim. When you hit me up, was it yesterday? I think.
Yeah, it was last minute. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh fuck, I want to talk about this movie because one of the things that always freaked me out about Duck World, like at the beginning, was like the duck titties.
In
And
the
you
bathtub.
You see them twice. You see them in rolling or play duck. Then you see them again, and when he's flying through the fucking his apartment building in his and that's the other thing. I like how y'all touched on in the intro that this is the first Marvel film. People think it's Iron Man and shit, or maybe Spider-Man or whatever. No, bitch. Howard the Duck, 1986, produced by George Lucas. And originally it was going to be an animated movie, but they needed a summer blockbuster. So they thought this would be the goddamn thing. George Lucas was like, what's his company called? I almost said IBM.
Films?
But no, but the special effects one.
Oh.
It's
Unlimited.
Industrial Light and Magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, they could handle this. I'm getting lost in the weeds a little bit, but I just wanted to preface this with this was always strange to me, the duck tits, the duck condom, the potential romance with Beverly, which in the comics, she is his girlfriend. So
it's accurate. Yeah.
Yeah. The story, I mean, if I'll just jump right in. The story is super interesting to me. And seeing it as a little kid, it was one of the first of its kind for me. Like this creature and it's a duck out of water situation.
How many duck puns can we do in this?
Challenge accepted.
Let's get quacking to it.
You're quacking up the right tree here, bud. Tim promised y'all bad jokes. Here I go. No,
that's why I wanted you two on this one. It's gotta be funny,
dude. The duck, Howard the Duck, getting transported to Earth. Trying to basically figure out how he even got there, and the way the movie goes, where it ends up being this super laboratory that's working on this whatever I don't even know what the hell it's doing. Okay, I really don't understand that part of the movie, but it can somehow triangulate on certain parts of the universe and then bring things to it somehow. That's weird. The movie goes all over the place, but I guess, and as a kid, I didn't know this was Marvel. I had no idea that, this is semi superhero level. So the fact that it goes there now in my adult brain, I'm like, oh, this makes perfect sense. It's the zany and it's this off the wall. And then finding out about the character Howard the Duck and how he was supposed to be in the comics, it's like all of this tracks. Why people didn't show up for it, I don't know. This plays out like a quintessential 80s fantasy movie to me. It's got all the same tropes that all those, like, you could put this up there with Willow or Never-Ending Story or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I count that in the same category. I did read something about uneven tone. I didn't get that.
I actually agree with it.
Really?
That is an area that I do agree with the uneven tone. So, but go ahead. I'll get into it.
That was one of my things I was going to bring up was the uneven tone. Is like, I never felt like it. To me, the movie didn't go from 1 minute being a zany comedy to somehow a dark, sinister. To me, it played comedy the whole way through. I thought it was just a comedy movie. So I never found a shift in tone. It never happened for me as a viewer. The story itself, just the story, how unique it was when I was a kid, how much I can look back on it now and get those, nostalgic feelings. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. It's not perfect. And four is being a little generous, but it's ingrained, man. It's just there from 8 years old or whatever.
That's allowed. That's why we all score it differently. That's what we're here to celebrate. So my unevenness in tone actually goes to the script for me. But I'll bring it up now since you brought it up. I feel the unevenness in tone is when this movie was released, parents didn't know if they could take their kids to it, but then it also wasn't adult enough for kids to enjoy. So it wasn't that it went too dark to too light. It was that here's a condom in Howard's wallet. Here she is about to take her shirt off, but then there's also slapstick gags meant for children. And so it was a balancing act that I don't exactly think they landed, which to me makes the movie more charming. I like the movie. I love the movie. We're going to get into that, but I think this is one of those movies. So this was considered the worst movie ever made, or one of the worst movies ever made prior to The Room being made.
Which is also an awesome movie.
Yeah, see, it is for all kinds of different reasons, but this was widely considered one of the worst films ever made.
I want to ask you something, Tim.
What?
Did you not see the Sphinx titties in Neverending Story?
Oh, I did. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
That
hard to
freaked
miss.
me out though. Those laser eyes. That was intense. That was intense stuff. That movie is traumatizing for children, and everybody should see it.
Artex.
Hey, you're actually coming back on to talk that one with us, aren't you? Later this year.
If that's the one I picked, then yes.
Yeah, for our childhood fantasy series, you're jumping in on that one. But
we're gonna talk about them Sphinx tits again, bro.
But yeah, I see why this was widely considered a terrible film, but to me that just makes it more charming. I like it. I think the story itself makes very little sense. It's just absurd, and so I give it a pass on that. Duck gets transplanted to Earth because of a military test on lasers that opened a dimensional portal, and then these demons come to Earth and possess the scientists to open the portal and bring more interdimensional something or other.
The Dark Overlords.
The Dark Overlords. We could send Howard back when we do this dimensional portal thing, but Howard's gonna say goodbye to Duck World forever because Beverly's a catch. So,
dude, Jennings
can scramble his eggs. What?
Jennings also had the Sphinx eyes.
He did. He did.
Yeah.
When they come up the side.
Yeah, dude.
With all the cars. Yeah, anyway, we get to that later.
Yeah, it's just nonsense. It's in some ways the story plays for me as a reason to get from set piece to set piece. We have the fantastic diner set piece. Love it. Love the whole diner sequence. It's one of my favorites of the movies. But then we have like that paraglider thing, that whole sequence. It's fun. That's a moment that I'm like, yeah, this is a kid's movie because I'm not really getting it. Then we have the Rancor pit at the end when he just comes up and he's fighting the puppetry is amazing on that creature. It's so good, but it's just a lot of, you can tell this was a big budget film for the time. It had a solid budget, but the original draft of the story is the movie I wish I would have seen.
I think the budget was $37 million, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's
30 to
what
37.
I heard. So the thing I really like the first third of this film. It's once the scientists start to get involved that I'm a little bit less meh.
Oh, so you like when Howard fucking kicks that band manager's ass, Ginger?
Yes.
You damn
Honestly,
right. Fuck
I
Ginger.
want a movie I want a movie. Howard comes to this earth, and the first movie is just him becoming the band manager and doing all that, going up against these corrupt band guys who are using their power to sleep with the band girls, as we hear. Like, I want that movie. I love all that.
Howard's
and then like, hey, here's this scientist, and I zone out for about 20 minutes, and then I come back. But I come back for the diner scene. That's me. And I'm being critical of it, but I don't want to start off so critical, but I am. But I enjoy the film a lot. What was I saying before? Oh, the original draft of the script was like a crime noir that was just Howard the Duck in Earth, and nobody was treating him like a duck. He was just like a hard-boiled detective type character, and the comedy part was like, and I was like, I kind of love that, and I want to see that movie. I want to see that, not interdimensional overlords. But yeah, I'll save my score for after you other two talk, because maybe you'll change my mind.
Go for it, Evan. What you got?
So I gave it a 4. I guess I'm kind of a little bit scrambled after the scientist scenes. So I'm kind of I'm a little bit out there on that one. But I, like you said, was the first, I guess, third quarter of the movie. That was where I loved it. I was like, all right, this is good. This is all up until they got into the sack. And I was like, oh, dude. He's trying to tell you, lady, you don't want none of this you don't want none of this dick.
He gets all shy and bashful too. Like he's like covering up. Like he actually does like back down.
They said, okay, I was watching behind the scenes stuff to get his feathers to, even the director used the word, his feathers go erect. In that scene, it took them days to get that to work.
Damn.
Took them days.
That's horrible. Talk about frustration.
So, yeah. She also, Leah Thompson, also said there were 2 different actors in the suit. One of them was a child.
Ed Gale.
The other one was a little person. So she preferred when the little person was in there because he was an adult and she's supposed to be doing these romantic scenes with the duck. And she's like, it was just better all the way around when the little person was in there.
Oh, wow. Oh, geez.
I have a little fun fact. Ed Gale, who played the in-suit performer, also played Chucky in Child's Play. And Child's Play
no
too.
Shit.
Yeah. And Bride of Chucky.
Huh.
Yeah, so he did a fantastic job, but I was just bringing up that bed scene. I can't imagine. He also saw out the bill. That was his only line of sight. So rewatching the movie and knowing that his line of sight was out the bill, he is constantly like looking at her chin just to line up where they're at. And I'm like, that would be weird to do some romantic scenes when she's like leaning in to kiss your bill and that's like your eyes. You just But yeah. Anyways, Evan, sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. No. I haven't seen this movie since I was like 10. So this was when I watched it last night when you had wrote us, and I was like, oh shit. I've had a couple too many drinks, but I'm gonna try to attempt to watch this.
That's the best way to watch it.
But then today I watched it again and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna need a couple drinks.
Dude.
But all in all, no, it was the story was at times I think maybe a little bit wonky. I'm not used to the comic books. As an adult now looking back at it, like, yeah, it would have been great. It was great when I was a kid, but today's standards, maybe not. But of course, if the kid in me when I was a kid, I would have probably gave it a 5. But I was like, nowadays I'm going to give it a 3. So I'm going to have to meet you in the middle, young Evan, and give you a 4.
That's fair.
That's fair. Because part of me wishes I had seen this younger because I don't have rose
You don't
colored
have the
glasses for
nostalgia
it.
of it.
Yeah, nope. I didn't see this. I
Damn.
didn't see this for the first time until like 2 years ago.
I'm gonna be honest with you,
Oh,
Tim. I'll be honest with
Yeah.
all y'all. Ever since like starting the nightclub and like watching certain movies, this is honestly the kind of movie if I saw this today for the first time, I'd still be pretty high on it.
uh-huh.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
because it's so look at it. Just look at it, man.
Yeah.
It's a
Well,
feat that this got made like it did. Well, they had money behind it though. So
they did.
It
earlier
was
when you were
George
talking
Lucas too, wasn't it?
right,
Yeah,
yeah,
George Lucas and
Yeah,
another
so, I mean,
person
yeah, there you
that directed that
yes,
or produced it with Gloria Katz.
yeah,
Yeah.
they were together, them two. There are a couple married. In fact, married up until Gloria's death in 2018. The director, I forget their name, but something
Ed
Hoyk.
Hoyk. Yeah.
Hoyk.
Willard
Hoyk.
Willard Hoyk.
Willard, Willard Hoyk directed this movie, and
This was his. I was gonna save all this stuff for the directing category.
oh my bad. Well, save it. I'll shut up about the director. I was speaking on the fact that like it's so out there that I'd have to tip my hat to it, even if this was a first time watch. But it's not. I've seen this movie. It's probably been 5-10 years since I've watched it, but it's something that I've put on here and there throughout the years. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Jonathan, it's all you.
Okay, well, first off, I'm going to say I never read like the early comic books for it for Howard the Duck, but I do have issues of Deadpool and Howard the Duck that are still pretty fucking awesome.
That would be fun.
But I'm with Travis though, man. I saw this growing up as a kid in the 80s, and I was hyped up on that shit, man. Like this is also one of my early childhood favorites, along with films like Labyrinth and Flight of the Navigator and like so many others, man. Yeah, right.
Pee Wee Herman, boy.
They're like even that and like Ninja Turtles. It's got kind of like that Ninja Turtles edge feel to it, you know. It's just they were a little more adult because the film was kind of feels like it kind of reaches to everybody in a lot of ways, but it felt like it was primarily for like late teens, early 20s, maybe 30s people, that kind of crowd when they made it, you know. But I was all about the story, and I didn't never really think about the more adult aspects of it when you're seeing the apartment in the beginning. So like that like kind of jolted something in my brain. So I've watched it like a couple times a day while I've been working, just had it on the background and everything. And it's wonderful just to catch that story back and like kind of think about all the stuff I'd forgotten about it that were like so amazing again a second time around after like not having watched it since like I was a teenager or some shit. So it's been like over 20 years since I last watched this movie. All the feelings that it brings back and how kick-ass it is, and me being like, oh yeah, I still love Leah Thompson. She's still prime. I'm sitting very much at a high 4 on this one, man. Almost 4.5.
Okay.
Definitely rocking film for me, man.
I'm a 3 on it. I think it's good. It loses a little bit of direction, but I think it's good.
Yeah, so you got a little weird and kind of like offbeat with the whole like escape scene, like the whole chase scene with the glider, whatever thing that is.
Yeah.
You know, some of that could have been like shortened out a little bit, but like the part at the diner, that was like such an awesome scene. That's one of my favorites. One of my favorite sequences in the film. And I just like the crazy stuff of like him trying to like adjust to human culture and life and everything with all the similarities and how frustrated he gets. Like I thought it was really cool, man. You know, and then coming out on top of like the weird way they introduced more of the sci-fi element as the story went on. Yeah, it got boring with the scientist parts a little bit, but once Jennings started turning and getting all flipped out and weird with the Overlord stuff, you know, it really kind of picked up after that. So it was fine. You know, I think it still ran pretty well.
So what I didn't know in doing my research, like I knew Howard the Duck was a Marvel character, but I never really read much of him. But I didn't know that Howard the Duck's origin was in Marvel Comics' Fear comics. So the name Fear. He briefly appeared in there in a story about just a one-off story about a barbarian who manifested out of a jar of peanut butter. So I don't know how that happens. But that's what it came in.
Peanut butter barbarian is coming for you.
Hey, the 70s comics were weird. But Howard the Duck was a character in that. Fans loved him so much from that brief appearance. Marvel was flooded with letters to bring him back. He started to appear in Man-Thing comic book. So his origins are horror based, which I did not realize until I started doing that research. He was a side character in the Man-Thing comic book with Marvel till he was so popular they eventually gave him his own story. And that ran for 3 years in the 70s. I was watching news clips. They could not keep Howard the Duck comic books on shelves in the 70s. It was selling out like crazy. So that was his origin, kind of in horror, but was this dry, wisecracking, adult humor duck. And that drew people. They loved it. So finding that out, I love seeing the little elements of horror that are brought into this movie and kind of build as we go. Like some of that transformation stuff going on with the demons, super cool stuff. It's very light because they're still younger audience, but I'm watching it going like, man, this kind of taps into horror a little bit, only to find out that his origins were horror. So I think that's awesome.
And cosmic as well. Just saying.
Very much. You love that cosmic.
I guess did he get plenty of yolks to crack?
Wow.
When he freaks out about the eggs at the diner.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, I like it. Like, yeah, he freaks out. So the waitress takes the fucking food away. And then a minute later, when they're trying to get Jennings to help them, he's like, she took my eggs. He's got all these little random one-liners. He says,
yeah.
And he's, the world will come to an end as you know it. And she's like, okay, I'll take the food back. Like, Jesus Christ, like, it wasn't that big of a deal.
Well, dude, Howard is being a sensitive little bitch, man. They're chicken eggs, not duck eggs. Like,
that's what I was thinking. They're chicken eggs. She didn't serve up duck eggs for breakfast.
He's still a bird, brother.
They'll eat whatever the fuck they're given.
You're not gonna. Are you gonna?
They didn't show us any chickens in that Play Duck magazine, so I assume it's a separate race entirely, separate breed.
Hold on. This is a fair question. I think pose now. Are you gonna eat like monkey stew?
I'd try it.
I mean, people eat monkey brains and stuff like that.
They eat monkey brains.
No. Yeah, but I'm asking Jonathan specifically, since he's got the chicken picadillo.
I don't know. It depends on the situation, man. I mean, if I'm really hungry and it seems like it's prepared and safe to eat, I might try it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's another species. I might try it. Like I might try some other type of animal, you know, I'd try some shark or.
I agree. I'm there with you, bro.
Other weird animal. Maybe try some bat wing or something. I don't know.
I'll take a hammer and smash that monkey's head on the middle of the table.
I don't want to go back to COVID.
I will say though about Howard though, I'm looking at the cover of Howard the Duck #1, and he looks like a Donald Duck just with like more of a suit and tie action.
Yes.
Well, he originally in the comics, and I'm not a comic book reader. This is all research I did for the show, which I didn't write down. I'm just going off what I read memory wise. He had a Humphrey Bogart way of speaking in the comics at first. That was the intention anyway. Yeah, like a
Shay. Yeah, Shay.
Yeah,
you fucked up, Shay.
So when they got the voice actor, because there was a lot of people that they cast, they actually cast Robin Williams.
He was on set.
Yeah,
he was on set for the film,
and he quit.
Yep. Which they say he quit and then went to Good Morning Vietnam.
Oh well.
Okay,
wise decision in his career.
Yes,
that worked out well for him, I'd say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good morning,
awesome movie.
Howard the Duck. No.
Yeah, because the guy I was watching break it down, he's basically like that decision might have saved Robin Williams' career because he was in the major bust of a film Popeye right before this, and then he went on to was going to do Howard the Duck, and they said 2 failures like that in a row might have ended Robin Williams' career before it began.
Popeye is
So-
another underrated movie, by the way.
Oh yeah, dude.
Popeye.
Yeah, oh yeah, very
I thought the movie was
underrated.
awesome.
I don't know
Yeah,
why.
another failure at the box office.
It's weird how these like
Him and Shelley Duvall, man, kicking ass.
some of these '80s movies
R.I.P.
get these.
Shelley.
R.I.P. Shelley Duvall
Mhm.
and Robin Williams.
And Robin.
That's yeah, both.
I remember where I was when I
Crack
found
them
out
from
he
both.
died.
Really?
R.I.P.
You know,
I was at a Cracker Barrel. Straight up, I was sitting there with my ex-wife, and I looked at my phone and I saw that Robin Williams, and I was like, I told her, and she was like, no, and we both just sat there with our Howard the Duck in front of us, and just couldn't even eat, man. Like for real, it was devastating. That was the first time a celebrity death actually bothered me, like on a personal level. And there's
Chester Bennington for me.
uh, there you
That
go.
was the
bro.
first time I felt it. Like, ugh.
David
Powerful
Bowie.
shit. Oh
the
shit!
day Dimebag died, when I found out Dimebag had passed away, dude, like I was like that whole day, I just didn't do shit, couldn't do shit.
Yeah.
Cheers to the real ones.
Cheers, cheers.
Lancha.
My shot glass is out in the kitchen.
All right, back to the character of
Yeah.
Howard the Duck.
Ah,
We got real for a second. So
Mhm.
the character arc in this film, is there much of a character arc for Howard?
kind of, sort of, maybe, but not really.
Not really.
No.
So I have questions about his character because in the opening, it certainly seems that if he's not married, he certainly has a steady girlfriend.
He
Yeah, it
has
seems like he's got some
several women.
play.
He's got several of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's got the
fucking around.
postcard
He's
from one
Playboy.
woman on vacation. She got the voicemail from this other girl's like, you need to come
Mhm.
over tonight, and I'm gonna tell you about this
Yeah,
dream.
he's
like,
play
let
duck,
me-
dude.
Later on,
Okay,
when Leah
okay.
Thompson looks in his fucking wallet, he's on the beach with two chicks. It might be those same two chick
That's right.
ducks.
That's right.
Oh,
And you ain't carrying no
Could be
condom in
menage
your
a trois.
damn fucking wallet if you ain't going out to go do something with somebody.
Some Mormon stuff.
And you don't know who is going to be.
maybe he's a like on. So like Duck World seems to have a lot of the same shit
He's a-
that our world does.
Yeah,
Maybe-
Mormon
maybe-
Duck.
I was honestly thinking that while watching the movie. Do they have like Jesus Duck? Because they have George Washington Duck.
There's
Yeah.
Duck Jesus and Duck World.
Yeah. So like, what if across and that opening narration? I wanted to
Jesus
say
Quack.
that during my story part. Jesus Quack, nice. At the beginning, the narrator, there's a brief moment where the narrator talks after Howard is like in transit to Earth, and he's like, the cosmos across all
Yeah.
reality, there or on every world, what is reality here would be fantasy on every other world, and blah blah blah. So I was like, what if the story of Jesus, and I was really sitting there thinking about this, what if the story of Jesus takes place on every world, but with just that world's, main species in charge type thing or whatever. Like, so
the main progenitor of the species, as
Yeah.
Phil Z calls it at one point.
there you go. Yeah, exactly. What if Howard the Duck and them have a Jesus Duck? Jesus Quack. If you
In the beginning, there was the Great Quack.
the great quack, the big
Was he
quack.
crucified on like a hook, like the roasted ducks in the diner, like
Damn.
roasted ducks,
Wait a
no.
second.
curved neck, and whoop. Jesus Quack,
In the
all
beginning.
roasted.
There was the Great Quack, a sound so powerful it rippled across the cosmos, birthing galaxies, space babes, and sentient mallards. Along the celestial flapping of wings, the feathered one, almighty and unknowable, created Duck World, a planet eerily similar to Earth, but populated entirely by anthropomorphic ducks with strong opinions and fashion sense.
What is this?
I pulled it up online.
But
On
what,
Wikipedia.
but what is that? Is that a real thing?
It's the gospel according to Mallard, the story of Jeez Drake, son of the feathered one.
What is
Sorry,
what is,
Jesus.
Drake.
Duck World.
Oh my God.
is that real?
Is that like part of
I
the Howard the
just
Duck
found
comic
it.
books?
Is that part of Howard the Duck lore?
Oh, I don't think so.
Oh
The
man,
fanfic?
this is blowing my mind.
I'll
Okay,
send it to you.
yeah, send it to me, dude. That's crazy. The Howard the Duck character. So, but when I took my character score, I did it as characters. I used Howard, Beverly, I know this is kind of whatever, but I used Jennings and I used what's his name, Blumberg,
Yeah, Phil.
Sure. Yeah.
Philzy. Yeah,
Yeah.
I took those four because they seem to be like the main four-ish that we follow. And I was
Mhm.
like, what's their character arc like? And I'm like, well, Leah's a rocker. She seems empathetic. She never seems not empathetic towards people. She never really changes.
No,
Howard,
she's so empathetic. She instantly is in love with Howard.
yeah. Well, look at him. He says, sex appeal. Some
Yeah.
people got it, some people don't. You know, while he's pulling tassels on her bandmates' uniforms and shit and slapping their butts. Yeah, dude. Um, Blumberg or Filsey, I don't know his last name, but he doesn't really have much of a character arc other than, you know, he changes from wanting to be famous to deciding to just help Howard for the sake of helping Howard. Although there's that
Yeah.
one part during the what do you call that little aircraft that they're on?
I don't know. Like just like a uniglider or something.
Yeah, whatever they're on. It's like a motor powered glider something thing.
Yeah.
He at one point when he's hanging off and the cops are right underneath them, he's like, he kidnapped me. This duck's a lunatic. And Howard's like, what? So he was ready to jump ship real quick. I'm like, damn, fucking Phil.
He bitched out.
But he still remained, you know, he kind of changed. And Jennings was ready to help Howard from moment one. And it's not his fault he got possessed. And then when he was unpossessed, he was back to his normal self. So no one really changes here. Howard does make a crucial decision though at the end of this movie. And that is maybe him changing to a degree. So I gave my score for character a 3. It's right in the middle. And I only give it the 3 because Howard's the only character to me that has a big enough change that matters. Phil changes a little bit. Howard makes a big decision that alters his life. So I'll give it a 3 for that, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
so the big decision. Sorry, go ahead, Jonathan.
oh no, I just wanted to jump in because I wanted to really jump off of that.
Go.
So when you're thinking about terms of arc with Howard, you know, you see how his life is. He seems like he's doing good. He's got the little playboy thing going on. Comes to Earth, freak out. It's like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And when he's talking to Beverly early on about his life and like how he had these dreams and he wanted to do all this and ended up taking a safe bet and taking this copywriting job, you know, instead of living out his dreams, you know, and doing whatever he wants, making that crucial decision after like finding a reason to stay because of the friendship and more that he finds in Beverly and, you know, the panic and like this need to find his destiny and finally finding it in defeating the Dark Overlord and saving Earth and all this stuff. And who knows how many people he saved from doing that is like a sense of fulfillment in that way because he found his destiny in that. And then not only that, being the girls in their band's band manager, it helps him kind of get back to living those dreams of being in the music and everything because he talks about that in her part. So I think that gives him a major sense of growth in that way. He
also does say at one point, like you were saying, Jonathan, when he talks to her that one night about giving up on his past dreams, he says, but I still do feel like I have a bigger calling somewhere. Like, so that might go towards what you're saying about the destiny he does fulfill in this. It's like, movie. Why am I here? What is my destiny kind of thing? So, I mean, I think it says a lot, even making that decision to never, who knows when he'll ever get home if he does, you know, still staying there. Still, I think that was a huge thing for him to go through all that and still get that much out of it. Phil, yeah, still kind of a knob, kind of a goofy boob, but he's like going from being like just some lab assistant. Now he gets to work with a major touring rock band and he's in charge of all this stuff, which I will say, I thought it was kind of dumb. It's like, Phil, if you're supposed to be running all this stuff the show, why are you in the crowd? It's like once Howard's up there jamming out at the end, man, it's like he's standing right there in front of the stage with all the rest of the fans or, you know, the people who are watching the show. It's like, dude, you should be backstage. Like, get the hell up out of there.
He's a fan too. Wasn't he like dating Ronette or whatever?
Yeah, he was dating one of the bandmates. Yep.
Yeah. This is true. Yeah. Holly Robinson is KC. I've seen her a bunch of stuff growing up too.
Real quick point out, because it's Tim fucking Robbins we're talking about here. So when we say Phil, we're talking about Tim fucking Robbins. True. This was one of his first hit roles in a movie.
Yep.
Just saying. So Tim Robbins has some humble beginnings as well.
Okay, yep. Good
in
point.
Howard the Duck.
Yeah, dude, you never know where some people get their starts in, man. It's amazing kind of stuff you
And
find.
did we say who Leah Thompson is?
This
Well, she had
is
a TV show in the 90s.
oh, she's the mom on Back to the Future.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
dude.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, that too.
Yeah, which actually came out before this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then with Beverly herself, like wanting to get out of this shit life that she's living and try to really make something out of this music, and then Howard helping her get to that point, even after all the crazy shit they go to. But they end up like having more, they strengthening their bond, even though they got in this big fight and he was being kind of a shitty dickhead. There was like a growth in the sense of their connection to one another, and then her finally getting to achieve that dream of being a rock star. All these people cheering the band, instead of playing these like little shitholes, you know. Gotta appreciate that as far as growth goes. And then Jennings, right? He doesn't really have growth. He's just still a scientist who was possessed by an overlord, dark overlord. Yeah.
Can we talk
Crazy
about
little
this?
butthole hands guy? Yeah.
Can we talk about the scene real quick where Howard works at the fucking spa?
Yeah.
Oh, that reminded me of like the Toxic Avenger a little bit. Man,
I slipped.
Yeah, oh yeah. Oops, I slipped. Howard mouths off to fucking Beverly for no good reason. He's frustrated because Phil's a jackass.
He's
And
a duck
only-
out of
Yeah.
water.
He's a duck. And
I think I'm reusing that one from earlier, but
it's all right. Fuck it, man. He mouths off to her at the water fountain, and she's like, well, if that's the way you want it, Ducky, then fine. And she walks away in a huff, and he's all making caw-caw sounds at people nearby to scare them away and shit. This is Howard, like, in the midst of his frustration, and so he's like lashing out and he's saying he doesn't need anybody. So he does try to make his own way. He gets in that, it's that scene where he goes to the I don't know what you call that office where you go to apply for a job.
Unemployment office.
Unemployment. And but he doesn't want unemployment, he wants a job.
he is not phased at all that he is a duck.
No.
Nope.
She's like, you think you could look like this and you can't work? No, I'm gonna find you a job.
Yep. I
And
love her.
Yeah, she's awesome. And she finds him a job.
Like, I'm good with special cases.
He's
Yeah.
he's walking through that place, that dirty, nasty spa, and there's like almost topless chicks. There's people running around
Gross,
fucking
nasty
grab assing. And he's like, I've got towels, and he sees people running and like kissing. He's like, I've got antibiotics, or whatever he says. Like, I like that Howard made the effort. The whole reason I bring this up is part of the character thing. He does make an effort in this really, dude, imagine you're just in another world but you're going to try to get a job. Thank God he speaks English like they do. The Duck's English.
Speaking of when Tim Robbins first sees him and starts to do a Donald Duck impression to
fuck.
talk to him.
Oh, geez, that was so shitty. Oh, God.
I like Howard's retort to him. I forget what he says, but
He says, like, clearly we're working with one of the highly intelligent people.
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, Tim Robbins starts using a tape recorder. Highly intelligent. He can't even like. And I like the fact that Beverly gets mad too. She's like, God damn, my friend's treating you like an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Sorry, the scene popped in my head, and I just wanted to get it out there in case we didn't talk about it.
That's cool.
You guys are convincing me to elevate my score a little bit. Evan,
There's some stuff in here, man.
Oh, you know what? There's some other growth in that movie. All those people in that diner don't fuck with weird shit you don't know anything about, man. Because all those people about got muffed up super bad.
If I saw
man.
a duck man, I would definitely be looking, but I don't think I would approach the duck man.
I wouldn't try to put him on a block to chop him up.
No, that's next level stupid shit.
Crazy balls, like idiot people.
At some point,
Great
I
scene.
think later, towards like a little bit later, we need to really talk about this diner scene.
oh,
Yeah.
we got it.
There's a lot to break down in that.
Yes.
Evan, what are your thoughts, buddy?
I think I've got all my ducks in a row.
Yeah.
is I gave it a 3. And hearing you guys talk about all these other character developments, I'm feeling like shit because I didn't think of it. I was just kind of going off of Howard's story.
Yeah.
Being him the main character. He seemed pretty similar to how he was in fucking on Duck World. When he got to Earth, there wasn't much growth until the very end. There were some parts that, when he became an asshole towards Leah Thompson. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Beverly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Beverly. When he started being an asshole towards her, I mean, that was a little bit of a kind of shit happens. But then at the very end, yeah, he saved it, and I would have put it as a 2 for his character development, just kind of because he knocked it down. But okay, he got a 3.
What the flock, man? What the flock?
Hey, you guys convinced me to come up a little bit because I was at a 1. I was
Whoa.
Ooh, shit.
because I was with Travis when he started talking, and he was like,
Deep
"Yeah,
roasted.
people are kind of the same at the end of this movie that they are at the beginning," and I'm like, "Yes, they are," which is fine. I think it's fine for this kind of movie, but there is no really big arc, big emotional moments of redemption or growth or anything other than, like you said, when he makes the big decision at the end to not return to Duck World.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I wish there was more showing us why he makes that decision. I get it. That's all there. But I'm not looking for that. Like, when was that emotional revelation that he's like, you know what? This girl is worth leaving my world for.
I think with a movie this old, so like now we're kind of used to that, and I'm not meaning this in any kind of offensive way. I'm saying like I like this shit too when they show you the character making that decision. But sometimes back in the day, there might not have been this moment where it was this spoon fed. You know what I'm saying? Like the moment clicks in the character's head, and you could tell. I'm using Signs as an example. There's a clear moment that's spoon fed where Mel Gibson realizes everything he has been absorbing throughout the last year or so since his wife died, and the things that have been being said to him by other characters, and the music is all a part of it, and everything's a part of it. I'm getting goosebumps saying it because that's how good it is, and that's how much I like that. Some of these older movies, even in the 80s, not all of them, but some of them don't do that thing. I think in Howard's case, it was just a split decision. It was like, well, these things are already coming, and I'm not going to be able to get back. So fuck it. Instead of, not doing the damn thing, I'm going to do the damn thing and blow this motherfucker up. I'm going to seal my fate. And you know what? It's okay because this chick digs the fuck out of me. This gives me something to pose to you, Tim.
Yeah.
How about for the character section of the scorecard? It's not solely focused on an arc. What if it's included? It's just the characters themselves, just how you like the characters. If it already is, then I misinterpreted it or read it wrong. But like, because how you said sometimes it's fine that they don't change because maybe the character you like doesn't have to change. Maybe their character's great from the start to finish, even if they don't have this change in their character.
Maybe they're not supposed to.
Yeah, maybe not. Or maybe they just don't. So maybe that could also be a valid way to score a character. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I know some people do score it that way. Just personally, I think for me, I'm always, maybe not always, but I don't even want to say moral lesson, but there's like that thesis statement a movie makes or should make that separates it from just being meh to something a little bit better. And I tend to think that comes in a character arc, that thesis or that moment of revelation, whether it's Doc Ock betraying Spider-Man and that emotional moment of this guy that I idolize is someone I have to take out, or whether it's the opposite of like Joaquin Phoenix's Joker turning. There's this growth and this trajectory of a character that I think separates a movie from in the scorecard. I don't think a character staying the same the entire film is amazing. I think there should be some kind of lesson, something learned, something observed. But that's me. If you want to score this card, if you want to score this
personal thing, gotcha.
If you want to score this card because you think all these characters are great, by all means, go do that. I personally do it on the arc because I want that kind of journey. I want that emotional journey and that satisfaction at the end. But you made a point of him making that decision. So I said I was really low at first, and I do see that they go on a journey, whether it's so much so as they're different at the end than they were at the beginning. I don't know about that, but they do go through a journey. They fight, they separate, they return to each other. So there is that struggle in their arc. So you convinced me. I came up. I did come up. I'm not as harsh on that.
I'm glad your score came up. Otherwise, I might have to get a little foul with you.
Yeah, I'm a 3. I came up to a 3 on it.
I won't say that all these characters in this particular movie. So like I only brought that up based on what you said, like my caveat to the character score. I personally would not say that any of these characters are like a 5. I would only they play a part in the overall, which we'll get to at the end, that makes the movie the movie. But yeah, I'm aligned with you on this one here. That it's a 3, and it's because of the few little things. But I don't know if we heard from Mr. Cusick.
I'm a 4, sir.
Yeah, you in second. Oh, 4?
I am a 4.
All right.
Okay. Oh, you gave your score. My bad.
Onto the music and sound design.
Oh yeah, buddy.
So
music and sound design.
The fun part of this one, Leah Thompson sang the songs in this movie.
Awesome.
She did with the band Cherry Bomb. She had to take some singing lessons for the film, and during the production, they weren't even sure that they were going to use her voice. They kind of told her on set that she could end up dubbed. Could end up being dubbed in the final production, but they kept her voice. She performed those songs. She learned the instruments. She said the dancing portion wasn't hard for her at all because she'd been dancing before, but the singing was new. The singing was new for her. So I think that stands out and is pretty cool little element of the movie because it's not bad.
No, she did a good job.
Yeah,
really
the music's not bad.
Great, yeah.
I looked it up to add the Hungry in the City, I think is the first song. I looked it up to add it to a playlist because it wasn't bad when he first lands in New York and they're meeting all the street gangs and all that.
Hunger City, that's it. Yeah, I actually kind of enjoyed that song. Me too. Yeah.
But the rest of the music composed by John Barry. He did a lot of work for he did, I don't know if he composed it. He's done a lot in the music department. He did a lot of TV movies, shorts. He did Dances with Wolves.
Damn.
Wow.
I try to dance with wolves every now and again, but they quack me up.
Evan.
He did a couple of Duran
I'm out.
videos.
I'm out.
You're running a foul.
Ooh.
Yes, sir.
I use it a different way than what Jonathan did, so
it works.
Trying it.
It works.
Yep. He composed the music for Octopussy, the James Bond film.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Moonraker. He did some James Bond films. So the music itself, I think, is fine. It's definitely not bad. I think the addition of Leah Thompson actually singing the song she performs is a plus. I think that adds to the movie a little bit.
Yes.
I think it's cool. So that helps, but the rest of the movie is pretty standard fare for a adventure film.
Yeah, it's got a lot of composed stuff to it, but then a lot of other actual like soundtrack stuff. I think there's like a whole thing that got like 3-4 CDs of it from everything that's in there. But for me, like Howard the Duck, that song at the end, like I will always remember that song. That
He's Howard the Duck.
It's amazing. And what really peaks for me on it also is the fact that it was also co-produced by the Grand High Priest of Funk, George Clinton.
Damn.
You know,
wow,
George Clinton Funk, bro, and the Parliament Funk, dude.
Parliament Funkadelic, baby.
Parliament Funkadelic, man. So like having that, like him being part of it, like you definitely hear the influence of his stuff in that song, especially with some of the key stuff. And I think that kicks ass, dude.
Did they do Maggot Head? Was that Parliament, or am I tripping?
I don't know. I'd have to look at their discography, see what's going on.
It's a song, I think. Yeah.
Maybe. I like the song Atomic Dog that George Clinton did, though. That was pretty cool. And Do Fries Go With That Shake? That's a pretty rad song, too.
I like when old Greg talks about Parliament. some deep cuts right there. So what you gave the score, though?
Oh, I didn't give a score. I was just saying, I just talking about George Clinton in general.
We've been waiting until after everybody talks to drop a score.
Oh, we're doing that. All right.
I wasn't going to correct you. You can do it whenever you want, but that's what Jonathan and I have been doing lately.
My bad. A lot of the music, though, in general, though, I think it all fits the scenes very well. I think the way that John Barry and a lot of the contributors did for the soundtrack was pretty good. Good collaboration stuff, and then there was like Sylvester LeVay also. And then, I mean, you just look at like the original score from John Barry for the disc one of like the release for it. Lullaby of Duckland, Disco Duckland, got Beak Jobs and Tail Tucks. You're the Duckiest. Ascent of Duck, Man's Oldest Fantasy. Yeah, Lonely Duck, So Long Ducky, Duck Bond, I presume.
This is all from the soundtrack of the movie?
Yeah, these are titles. Shit? These are titles of tracks from the soundtrack. Yeah, one's called Take His Clothes Off, Hard Boiled Egg.
My.
Give Me the Key, Howard. Filthy Scum Bucket. Yeah, Jennings as Dark Overlord. All this stuff. And there's like a lot of like crazy stuff. Howard's Bar Brawl. There's like a whole bunch of alternate scores and cues and stuff. There's a whole lot of stuff.
Master of Quack Fu.
Yeah, it's like it's a 3-disc release of all the different stuff and all collab music and all the score stuff. It's pretty cool, man.
Nice.
Alternate versions.
Yeah, besides the band stuff, the music didn't stand out to me like at all. Like it's serviceable. Hearing y'all talk so lovingly about it, it makes me want to kind of listen to the music on its own to see if like, oh, maybe next time I watch the movie, I'll hear it. So like, and well, I know you're saying do it at the end, Tim. I gotta just do me, baby.
All right, do you?
I gave it
a Nightclub Podcast way, right?
Yeah, well, it's just, yeah, I guess. No, because I yell at them for doing it wrong all the time. They still do shit wrong.
Damn it, Travis.
I'll save it for the end, but yeah, I found it serviceable. And that's really all I could say about the music. I didn't have a lot for the music part other than I do like the band scenes. When I was watching it, did I know it was Leah Thompson? No. Did I think it was Leah Thompson? Yeah, I thought it was her because it looks natural and it sounds like her voice, kind of.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't sound like she has a super distinct style. She almost is like singing to a degree, but still very well done, especially the part where she doesn't know that Howard snuck back into the bar and she's singing that sad song and she's like, this is depressing. Give me a beat, and they change it up. But she was doing really good for that depressing song.
Yeah.
Everything else is just it's fair game. Howard the Duck, to me, the movie doesn't have a distinguished theme, like how you could think of Lord of the Rings and hear a theme in your head, or Harry Potter, or Nightmare on Elm Street, or even whatever. You could hear The Shining, down, 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 down. You can hear a theme. Howard the Duck, I don't hear a theme in my head. I can hear, in the beginning, there was Howard the Duck, but that's about it, and that's a guy talking.
They dropped the best theme at the end when Leah Thompson sings "It's Howard the Duck." Like that, that song's a banger. That's an earworm. It's in my head.
Did he?
And they waited until the end.
Is that the same melody that when she was like peeking in on him when he was shaking his tail feathers and he was playing that little part on the piano, the keyboard? Is that the same theme from the Howard the Duck song that's at the end? Like the same notes and stuff?
What he's playing on the keyboard?
Yeah, when he turns on the little... No, it's not? Okay.
No. I have... So the last couple of times I watched it, I started to pick up on elements of a theme that it's just not remarkable. It plays... They have a romance theme between Leah and Howard. And that's the most recognizable part that comes back. But it's just not like... I couldn't describe it to you right now. I just know that like, oh, that played earlier. Like, that's it. It's pretty... It's not bad. Like you said, the music is serviceable in this movie and it works, but that's the closest they get to a theme, which is a shame when they had Leah Thompson singing Howard the Duck at the end. And that song's a banger. So
I just want to point out that the diner scene is starting in the background. The diner's yeah, pick his nose.
Diner scene is the crux. Apparently, it's the ass of this movie. And when I say ass, I mean that as a good thing. Like that's that. Yeah. the witch.
Evan, it's all you.
So I guess I messed up. I thought a little bit more highly of the music, but that's I don't know if you guys ever saw them.
You didn't mess up, bro. You rate this how you want.
You like it.
Strange Days with Juliette Lewis and Ralph Fiennes.
I have not.
She reminded me
to watch that movie
of Juliette Lewis, to the point that I thought really highly of it because I also think highly of Juliette Lewis. So I gave it a 5.
Do I know who Juliette Lewis is?
No, I know Juliette Lewis. I've never seen that movie.
Strange Days.
Oh, Strange Days, man. It's a fucking hard watch.
Yeah, I watched that in the late 90s.
If you can watch it, man, go for it.
I'd recommend watching it.
Yeah, I remember. I know her from Yellow Jackets.
Wow, I know her from Natural Born Killers.
Yeah,
and other movies from that era.
Yeah,
From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah. From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah. But just the way that Leah Thompson reminded me, almost a similarity to, well, I guess it would be Juliette Lewis is similar to her from this when she did that role, was their tones of their music and the way they sound is so kind of hypnotic to me, I guess. I don't fucking know. But I was down for it. And until it was, well, what the hell is going on over there? And I was like, man, you just kind of put me out of the scene for a second, but keep on singing. But yeah, I gave it a 5 out of 5. It was quacktastic. I don't have too much to go beyond that. Other than I like Leah Thompson. She's fucking gorgeous, man.
So we were 4, 5. Is that right, Travis? You were 4?
3.
For the music and sound design?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jonathan?
Well, wait.
I'm a 3.
Ooh, sound design. I mean, the sound design's awesome.
Average that in there.
Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4.
Okay, bet. Yeah, I was sitting at a 3 as well. But I also want to add the band Cherry Bomb, for the ladies in the movie, even though it's fictional for them. There was actually a band called Cherry Bomb.
Yeah.
They're actually called Hey Violet now. But my buddy's band Arcane Framework opened up for him at the Cobra Lounge in Chicago one time, and we got to meet them and hang out with them for a bit. One of them was supposed to be, I guess, like the daughter of a famous performer or something. But yeah.
Oh, wow.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Did they close with Howard the Duck?
Not so much. That would have been cool though. But another cherry bomb that was out there in the world out of a few different iterations of it.
All right. I was a 3 on the music as well. So here is the one. I should have quite a bit to say. The editing and special effects.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the biggest complaint people had about this movie was not the special effects itself, but the fact that Howard the Duck doesn't look anything like his comic book character. I think that was the biggest complaint. There are distinct moments that he's a puppet, distinct moments that there's a man in a suit.
Yeah.
I think they do a pretty good job of keeping it consistent. That puppet, arms are a little thinner, like shoulders aren't quite as wide. Doesn't bother me. I'm never taken out of the movie by it. I think they do a fantastic job of hiding that in it. The suit itself, insane. Yeah, the feathers don't look real, whatever. The expression they're able to get on that animatronic face is so good.
Yeah, that $2 million of puppetry equipment.
Yes. That opening scene of him, like he's barely speaking and he's like turning through pages or TV and he's like, whoa, like facial expressions. Mm-hmm. I was like, that is awesome. That is so good. There's one scene in the diner when he elevates and spins around in the air. You can see the shadow of the arm that he's attached to on the ceiling.
Oh, really?
You can see that.
I'll have to look out for that.
Yeah, it's I think it's cool, but I'm like, oh, they missed the shadow. This was also the first movie to use computer effects to remove wires.
Oh.
So when he gets sucked through in his recliner through the building, that's all practical. That recliner was on a wire contraption and pulled through those walls fast. And they used computer technology to remove the wires. And this was the first movie to do that. And they're talking about like now every TV show with an action scene will do something like that. But this was the first time it was done. So that was awesome. The puppet, I think they said there were 7 different versions of Howard that were used throughout the film, which is insane. Especially if each one cost $2 million or it was $2 million total for all the puppets. I don't know. But I think the puppetry is super cool. I actually think the special effects with the lasers and the computers are on par with anything Marvel's doing at the moment. And not quite. It's a little.
It's yeah.
The big clap.
It's shots fired. That's what that was.
Hot take.
They're a little cheesy, but in this movie, I think they were pretty good for the 80s. But in this movie, it's got charming.
It's got the 80s quirky charm. Yeah.
Yeah, I love
the practical effects mixed with like the new age technology stuff.
Yes.
You know, the little crossover.
What I love is that they used it like the computer was lasers, but that giant demon monster at the end was puppet instead of computer. And I love that. I'm glad that puppet at the end is awesome.
See, I thought that was like a stop frame animatronic kind of puppet because of like the green screen and like the articulation and the frame rate of it.
That's what I thought too.
Actually, I thought that was, you know, an adjustable puppet that they're doing just, you know, shot by shot of, and it looked like it articulated really well.
Yeah.
So I mean, I thought that was pretty rad.
No, I think you're right. I think it's stop motion, but it's fantastic. Yeah, frame rate and stuff. It looks a little different quality wise in the shot. I watched it on Blu-ray and it's definitely noticeable there, but it's still so cool to see because something like that will always be more real than a CGI screen. Especially the way they get shots of that stop motion and a tentacle flying and then it would cut to a closer shot where you see the tentacle interact with Leah Thompson or Buttons in that room. I love the effects. That hang glider scene, even though I don't really care for the scene, they actually flew that to get the shots. That's all real. They were flying that thing. They don't make movies like that anymore.
Hell no, cuz unless some shots in like maybe John Wick or Fast and Furious, but like that's about it.
Yeah. Or
and Fast and Furious when he's hanging off that cliff. Yeah.
Mission Impossible, yeah.
But yeah, that is lost today, and I love that. The effects are one of the areas where you watch this movie and you go, it had a budget. It had a good budget, big budget, and it looks good. I still think George was quoted telling the cast and crew when the reviews came out, they weren't feeling great. So George was quoted by one of them saying that he said in 25 years, our movie is still going to look good and people will be talking about it.
And here we are.
Here we are. He was right, because almost 25 years ago I don't want to say to the date, this movie got a resurgence after Howard the Duck appeared at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to see what you guys thought about like that version of him. You know?
So that version is more comic accurate.
Yeah.
Which is why people didn't like this movie. Like Howard the Duck fans didn't like this movie because it wasn't comic book accurate. Even though the story is very similar, Howard was not similar. But the Guardians version looked like the guy from the comics. I'm curious. I kind of want to read the original Howard comics and see that after talking about all this. I might shop it on Amazon and see if there's a omnibus or something available. But yeah, the effects of this movie are awesome. And we are at the diner scene, which has the beginning of his transformation into demon possession. And oh, hey, there it is. Ready?
Yeah, dude.
So the shadow appear when he starts spinning around. But the diner scene is an okay, it's not there.
It's been wait for it. Like, is it there?
Nope. That's a good shot. Next one.
I just like he's hanging from the back of his jacket.
Oh, yep. But you saw it on that one shot. That's where it is. But yeah. Anyways, I have nothing bad to say about the effects of this movie. Anything weak on them is just charm at this point. So
yeah, I'd be echoing you on everything you said. I mean, honestly, like, and Jonathan mentioned the cars exploding earlier. There's a shot where they are backed up in traffic, where possessed Jennings is driving that fucking 18-wheeler. Yeah. He's bumping into everybody, and he gets the fucking Sphinx titty laser eyes going, and he blows up all the cars in front of him.
Fucking lasers that cop, dude, and like disintegrates that cop.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
From the diner scene on, where his powers just keep growing. And the way it looks, again, it's the 80s charm of those special effects that it almost doesn't matter how much they age, they still look good. They just look good. And again, I'd just be echoing everything. And also when it comes to, that's all the special effect. The editing of the movie is great too. I have nothing wrong with the editing, or like there's a little bit with the pacing could be different, right? With that glider scene. Yeah. But for me, it's not enough to take away from my overall score that I'm going to give this section. So I'll just like bow out, because I agree with everything you said, Tim. Like the special effects are top notch, 80s, awesome sauce.
I was a big fan of like the spinning cleaver throughout the diner. How that was controlling that, and it was flipping around and like cutting wires and all sort of stuff. I enjoyed that. That was pretty sweet. Everyone's all freaking out, like, oh my gosh, Leah Thompson almost like gets taken out by it. She's like, oh shit, it's good times. And the spring effects you were talking about, when Jennings is leaving the diner, you see him do the hands, and the clusters of everything from the doors that yank out. I think that's another one of those like cable pull scenes,
yeah,
like, leave those out.
Yeah,
I do
that
like
makes sense.
his animatronic tongue that comes out of his mouth.
Oh
I forget
yeah,
where that happens at, but and
in the truck.
he drives to that nuclear facility too, and he's like opening all the doors and like blowing everything up to get into that fucking reactor so he could absorb all that nuclear power. Which, do all the overlords need to fucking do that too after they inhabit a human body? Because his whole
Dude,
goal.
I can't get into the semantics of the overlord stuff because I don't get it. I don't get it. Why is he possessed by an overlord telling them that I need to get more overlords in here, stop me from getting more overlords so I can let I'm not tracking. I don't understand why he tells them his evil plan and then they are like, "Oh yeah, we should help him open the laser because that's when I need to go back." Like I don't get it. I don't get it.
I like you're talking about when the tongue thing comes out when they're in the truck and he's like, I need energy or power or whatever, and then like you see like the weird head. They have like it's a quick shot while the thing's coming out of his tongue, out of his mouth as a tongue, and then he sticks it in like the lighter socket in order to get the energy in the truck.
I don't like thinking about Jeffrey Jones's tongue being that long.
And then
the whole podcast came to a halt.
I was just picturing Jeffrey Jones's tongue.
I was too.
Oh
Lordy.
Sorry, y'all.
So as for like
No, he's good.
editing special effects, yeah, I'm kind of agreeing all the way through with Tim, Travis. It was well done. I guess I wasn't too high on it because there were times that as I was paying attention, if you really just sit there and look at like Howard, and you look at other things, you're like, man, to these days standards, it doesn't flow as well. You could tell that Howard had pockets at one point on his suit. You could tell when he got thrown in that water, you could see the costume had pockets.
Oh, I never noticed that.
Oh. But also, I'm impressed that they threw somebody in water wearing a costume. That's a choking hazard.
Yeah, he definitely wanted it to be a duck out of water at that point.
Yeah.
And somehow he was able to, when he came up from that, he was able to spit water out of his beak.
See, that's impressive.
There had to have been some kind of rig going on there. Yeah.
Well,
probably the same thing that you were saying.
You were saying his eyes are right there in his beak.
Yeah. So he's.
But all in all, yeah, I didn't think too highly of it, but that's just because I've gotten kind of ruined on nowadays movies and other practical effects, which is what this one was a little bit more, I thought. I guess, yeah, I kind of went a little bit low on it, but I'll look higher on it after hearing you guys.
Okay. We can come in with the scores. I was a 4 on the effects.
I was a 5.
Time for.
That was a 3.
Wow, wow, wow.
That's all right. That's all right. All right, the script. I'll be honest. Okay, I'll go first, and then maybe you can change my mind by the time the scores come. This movie, the script is rough, man. The script is rough. Like I said, I don't exactly understand these overlords. I don't follow. I don't get it. And each time I try to get it, I probably zone out over the part that I need to hear to totally understand it. But the script has multiple points when I zone out. The first time they visit the scientists, I zone out for a little bit until they're in the museum area, I think. And it gets pretty funny. But multiple times I zone out. I think the strongest part of the script is the setup at the beginning, Howard dealing with the girl's manager, all of that. I love all of that. The jokes about the world, about Howard seeing Earth. I wish they leaned into either more jokes about Howard being a duck in like some people just don't react enough to the fact that he's a duck.
So like in the
Leah
diner
Thompson-
scene, Howard should have told the waitress, "You could put that on my bill."
Oh,
Ah.
part of me almost wishes they had leaned into that like self-aware. So the comic was very self-aware. That sense of humor kind of made fun of itself. And I wish this movie had leaned a little bit into that. I find this movie humorous, not funny. If that, like, I don't laugh at this movie, but I find it zany, fun. So the humor doesn't
Fantastic.
always land for me. The villain motivations, I honestly just wish the overlords weren't in this movie.
I can explain that to you.
Okay. I like something this is my understanding of it. The scientists were doing experiments, opened up some portal in space.
Yeah.
One overlord came in.
Yeah.
Possessed.
Jenny.
Yeah. And now he's been growing in there and he wants to open it up to let more in.
Yeah. But he needs other human occupants
To possess.
because when they come to Earth, they have to possess a human and grow inside of before they can hatch, kind of.
Yeah, that's
Like
right.
kind of like a xenomorph.
That's right.
Mhm.
I just think it's all a little clunky and in that department.
Just to add a little extra to that. So there is the initial experiment where they reach the beam out to try and pull something from another place. And while they're doing so, there's an energy surge of some kind that pulled it away from where they directed it to, and it directed it to Howard's planet. And it turned out to be that Dark Lord Overlord trying to influence it to find a way out of his realm. And so when Jennings comes back to fire it up a second time to try and get Howard home, that's when everything goes batshit crazy, the explosion, and then Jennings gets inhabited.
Okay. See, we all just learned something.
Yeah, because that's something I didn't quite understand too. At the beginning, when we talked about what they were even doing, I was like, I don't even know what they're doing. They're pulling shit from other parts of the universe. Like, why or how?
Yeah.
But I guess it was interrupted by Marvel magic, like some dark because the Dark Overlord does say that their section of the universe is beyond the stars, and it's a dimension inhabited by demons.
Yep.
So it's like this is some other place farther out in space than we can even fathom. And there's just those nasty crab-looking Jason versus the Argonauts things out there. You know, like whatever the fuck those things are. I'm saying that because of stop motions.
With vertical mouths and rows of teeth.
They got vagina mouths.
That's what I was thinking.
I would say the Dark Overlord, though, I feel like I saw a similar iteration of that creature in Men in Black.
Oh. They're actually connected, the movies.
Same universe.
One thing I didn't
surprising is that this script was by the same people who worked with George Lucas a lot. Gloria Katz, you were saying, she worked with Lucas a lot. American Graffiti, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Mm-hmm.
So people had what?
Indie reference, like at the beginning of the movie with the Breeders of the
I was
Lost
about
Ark.
to say, is that why that they had so much George Lucas shit in the beginning? That's
So George Lucas was a big fan of the Howard the Duck comic, and he wanted to make this movie after Star Wars.
After American Graffiti.
Yeah, that's right. And then he was doing Star Wars, so he shelved it. He wasn't really working on it. They had rights issues where another studio was the studio making the Incredible Hulk TV show had the rights to make a Howard the Duck TV show in the 70s. They never did anything with it, but because of that, George Lucas waited. He kind of just forgot about it, wasn't worried about it. He made Indiana Jones instead. He made Empire Strikes Back. By the time the rights were available, he was finishing Return of the Jedi. And that's when he was like, I'll produce this movie, But by this point, he was going through a nasty divorce with his wife because he'd spent the last 10 years of his life making Star Wars, and he was done with movies, but he definitely produced it. But he worked with these people, and that's part of the anticipation people had coming into it. This is the team that has done Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and Howard the Duck was the third one.
George Lucas to his wife is like, bitch, you don't recognize greatness? Look at this. Look at what I've done. I'm a cultural phenomenon, God damn it. I'm worth $1 billion. You leaving me? What the fuck?
And he was.
She's taking half of it.
Wait, I'm sorry. He would say it like this. Bitch, you don't realize I'm worth $1 billion? George Lucas is such a nerd.
So it is surprising
to
to
start
me.
some cocaine with Harrison Ford.
We're gonna do cocaine. Bitch. Luke Skywalker's doing a rail off of fucking Leia's ass.
Okay.
Sorry, man.
No,
you asked me to be here.
No, I wanted you here. I was just picturing that scene.
Yeah, we're about to Patanton.
She was in the metal bikini.
I thought they smelled that on the outside.
Wait till you get inside there. He's saying all this to his wife. She's like, "You see why I want a divorce, George? You see why I want a divorce,
George? George, yeah. Just sign the paper."
Somebody put the order 66 on my wife.
That seems less fun.
George Lucas can't be pulling no hits on his wife because goddamn. Shit.
But that's my thought on the script, that the humor doesn't always land for me. Things aren't always explained super clearly. Yeah. I want more puns, honestly. I want more puns. Yeah. Lean into the self-aware humor.
It would have been nice a little bit, yeah. Some of the parts with the script, though, like, I don't know, man. I enjoyed most of it for the most part, but like some parts I just didn't quite. I was like, if Jennings, like when he's being taken over, if it's infiltrated every cell of his body and it has taken over his body, I don't understand how like being shot with the laser is supposed to magically separate them. And then the Overlord being his full ginormous friggin' form, I'm not sure if that's a power thing or
that's laser magic, bro.
Laser magic, yeah, sure.
We don't understand that.
And then Jennings completely intact with like no damage anymore, not looking sunken up and messed up, and I don't know, dude. Like that part was kind of weak for me. He
slowly looks more and more like Rick from Rick and Morty as the movie goes on.
He does.
It kind of does, yeah, dude.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I thought the same thing earlier. I was like, damn.
Mm-hmm. This motherfucker looks like he's about to be like, listen, Beverly, I'm about to bring down the Dark Overlords. Howard's like, oh, geez, Jennings, no.
That would be Phil talking like that, yeah.
Oh, Phil? Oh, yeah, okay.
That would be Phil in that role.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what I agree with Tim. Like so the movie overall, but we'll get to that. But like the script itself, there's parts of it that are really good, and then there's parts of it that like again, maybe when I was a kid I laughed at it more, but like on subsequent rewatches, I just find it, like he said, humorous. I don't laugh. I laughed out loud probably twice watching it earlier today. One of the parts I laughed out loud was that guy that says, "That's a duck. That's a duck, man."
Yeah.
Like, that made me laugh. Like, pointing at him.
Yeah, he's just hanging out the butt. And I'm like, it's just so weird and absurd. I'm like, yeah, that's awesome.
What about that? Oops, sorry, good.
No, yeah, what?
I was gonna say, what about that part though? After he gets off the bus, he stands there looking in the window of the store with the TVs, and he's seeing like all the stuff about ducks, and, like, duck season, and like Daffy Duck and all that stuff. He starts flipping out and like, oh my god!
I didn't laugh out loud, but again, like humorous. I enjoyed it inside. I was enjoying it inside my heart. I was like, oh, this is good. And I feel like that like a lot about this movie a lot. Like inside my heart, I'm just enjoying it. Am I laughing out loud a lot? No. Does that mean that the script is failing? Yes. This is supposed to be a comedy movie. It's not so comedy that I'm losing my mind laughing, which I would like. But comedy's one of those weird things where, you know, well, not only that, but how many times can you watch a movie and the jokes land the same way? They're not gonna. Eventually, you could watch the funniest movie of all time, and you could, same with horror, you could watch it 5 times in a row. Not well, and and I'm not saying that there aren't standouts that aren't gonna just make you laugh, or you're not gonna see something new every time. You might.
There you go.
But like with a movie like this, it's just not one of those movies that has these standout laugh out loud moments. It doesn't have a single one. It's only something that I might notice and then laugh at for my own silly brain, like what I pick up on. But then the next time I watch it, I might not laugh that hard at it because it's just I remember that. Yeah, that's funny, but not again. It's not it's not as funny the second time, you know. So all that being said, the script itself, I don't mind the Overlord stuff because that's where it gets cosmic. And I do like that. Even if I don't understand, I don't need to because it's cosmic. So, but I do like the scene the first time in the lab when they said, when our laser got pointed in another direction and only a single feather fell. And you see the video footage because it's all shot like it's in the lab. So it's like found footage mixed into this horror duck movie. You see Jennings.
My upcoming book. No.
Oh, hell yeah. Shout out to Tim's upcoming book. Plug it, Tim.
Yep. Oh, that's it.
Oh.
Next book is found footage.
No title, no release date, no nothing.
Oh, like, comment, survive. Available at some point. Exact date isn't known yet, but September.
It's coming, y'all.
Just in time for Halloween.
Boom.
Yeah.
I like when Jennings catches that single feather falling through the air, and they were like, we didn't know that your body landed 2 miles away when he crash landed through that fucking like awning and went into the trash cans or whatever. I also like, we missed, thinking about it when we talk, I gotta say it. When he first gets like crash landed on Earth, Howard gets like picked up by some thugs and they shove him into some nerd's fucking hands. Is like, here's your date. Then the bouncer's like, I know a kid in a costume when I see one. And he throws Howard out the back door into some homeless lady's fucking encampment, and she starts beating his ass. All that shit is a 10 out of 10. That's funny.
Yes. The opening of this movie is perfect.
Yeah.
I love the first third of this movie. Even the love scene between the two of them when we think they're about to get it on is so uncomfortable. I find it hilarious. But yeah.
This is against nature. It's not what you think it is. There's a lot of good one-liners and like small shots throughout this thing, you know, but some of it does fall flat. I do like though when Howard was like, no one laughs at a master or a quack foo, you know, everyone's kind of tripping on that. But then there was like, I
love the quack foo in the opening shot. They have his trophy and photo of him in what's it called?
Gi and everything.
Yeah, he's wearing his gi next to a trophy. Like, he wasn't lying. He is a master of quack foo. I love it.
Yeah, so I mean that's kind of cool in like a tough way, but then it's like when they're in the back of the truck, he's like, Bev, I'm not a real sentimental guy, and she's like, no, I bet you were born from a very hard-boiled egg, Ducky. You know, and it's kind of funny but kind of sad. But then they're in the truck with Jennings and he's transformed, and he's like, I feel like something's gnawing at my guts, and she's like, well, what did you have for lunch? And it was like, that was kind of a dumb kind of fall flat. I was like, oh man, like that was kind of a rough one to watch. I'm like, ugh. But other than that, you know, a lot of it's like small little quips that, you know, are enjoyable, but there's not really too much meat to it to really go off of. So, you know, whatever's whatever. It's all right.
There is one that killed me that I did laugh out loud about, and it's probably more because of the time period now than it actually being a funny line. But when they're in that truck and he's saying, oh, there's something changing in me, and Howard goes, oh, like a sex change?
I laughed. I laughed too.
I laughed too. That got me. Yeah.
I actually did laugh, and I
That
was
one
like,
got me.
as a kid, I would have never known what that even meant. But
Yeah.
like on this actual rewatch tonight, just before this,
Yeah.
that made me laugh. I was like,
Yep.
oh shit, that this movie would get fucking. Somebody would be mad about that today.
Oh yeah. Somebody would be mad
Oh,
that we
absolutely.
brought it up in the podcast. Evan.
Kind of with you guys on that is that I wasn't super compelled. We're on script, right?
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
You.
Yeah, it's acting, script, it's all the same in my opinion. They did well enough to an extent. I kind of lost focus when we got to the third quarter, the second, third part of the movie. Dealing with scientists and all that shit, it's like, kind of bored
I'm
me.
with you. I'm with you.
Why is everyone upset with this cosmic shit?
I'm just like not into cosmic stuff, really. It's not anything against it.
No, nothing at
It's
all.
just not something I love.
And this is not the part where I'm gonna fucking fuss everybody for like having opinions. That's not what I'm saying. But this is the part where Travis plays the role of the guy that just wants to fuss. fuss. No, I'm just playing.
It's Evan's
Give a
turn.
good hashtag. You watched it wrong.
Well, no, I'm not gonna do that here.
Um,
Well, maybe I will.
it's now the fact that what it is it was original in my opinion. For what it was.
It's pretty original. Like a duck getting sucked from Duck World to this. Yeah, dude. I'm sorry, Evan. My bad.
It's the same story as E.T.
But bro.
I'm kidding.
But it is, but it ain't. But it is, but well, E.T. got left by. Dude, they left him. They left him. They left that poor boy.
He also
They
did.
made him cross dress.
E.T. wasn't a love story.
True.
So-
E.T. did not almost get down James Brown.
He did not.
E.T.
Got that little poor
cross-dressing
alien
can make it
drum.
right now perfectly in 2025 and everybody be just fine with it.
Yeah, dude. I'm gonna bang E.T. tomorrow. I don't give a fuck.
Hey, there's no kink shaming on this show.
Damn it.
Whatever you're
Hell
into.
no.
Whatever you're into.
Pick up your little Reese's Pieces and put them in my butt. What you called that earlier, Evan? You asked if I had a house draft tool or something. What is that? For my beer?
Oh, I was asking if you had a house draft, like if you had like a big ass fucking keg just sitting in your damn living room and you just
Like a kegerator?
pour your
Oh.
own beer in it.
I was gonna say put a kegerator in my ass and drop some fucking Reese's Pieces in there. We're gonna get it on ET style.
I'm a kegerator in my ass.
Yeah.
Can you
Wow. Gaping. Oh my
Oh.
god.
stretch on that?
Whoa.
You ain't sitting down the rest of your life.
Your hips are
Dude,
shattered, bro.
I'm gonna have some dark overlords coming through that portal.
Whoa.
All right, so the script is my most critical part of my review. I give the script a 2.
Oof.
Give it 3.
Yeah,
I
3.
think the script is just a 2 is just okay.
Yeah. I thought a 3 was okay. That's kind of where I was. Because
3 is good.
really? Okay. Yeah.
So it
and
goes.
yeah.
2
Tell me-
subpar, 1
Yeah, no,
crap,
yeah.
and
Tell
then
the
0 absolute
audience because the
garbage.
audience might not fucking know.
Hey, it was average.
That's yeah.
It was good. It was 3.
Why is Tim
It's an
frozen?
average size corkscrew.
Tim's looking up his own ratings. He's like, how does this go again?
0 is terrible. 1 is bad. 2 is okay. 3 is good. 4 is great. 5 is amazing.
Okay. Well, then I'll be fine with the look. Evan's dying. I'll be fine. I'll be fine with a good. Then I'm gonna give it a 3 as well. Yeah.
Shit.
All right.
Jonathan said something about that corkscrew and it killed me.
Speaking of corkscrews, have you all seen Companion?
Yeah.
Not yet.
That's an excellent
Oh,
use of Chekhov's gun, Jonathan.
Ha ha.
It's so there's something in there that the camera lingers on it. I was like, that's going to be used in the third act, and sure enough,
When it happened, I was like, "Oh shit!"
yep,
Yeah.
it's a fun movie.
Yeah, don't say nothing. I ain't seen it yet. Still intend to.
Hey, you've got my Fandango at home. It's on there.
Oh, okay. That's right. I still got to log into
Yep.
that thing.
We did a double feature for Valentine's Day. We went to see Companion first, Hard Eyes second. That's the correct order to watch those movies in.
I still need to see Hard Eyes.
was that double feature
In the theater.
picture
Yep.
show?
Yep.
Good.
And
Yeah.
I chose that order because I knew, because Barbarian was good, but it wasn't all that like everyone thinks it is.
Oh, I loved Barbarian.
I'm sure you did. It was fine.
I loved it.
Did it
on to the acting.
I'm gonna measure your basement.
What?
You can do that.
Acting. I'm gonna take this one. I'm gonna start this
Go.
one. The acting in this movie is fucking awesome. Tim Robbins is crazy, unhinged, all over the top. Fucking Jeffrey Jones. I know we're not supposed to really mention this man by his name because he's a fucking gross bitch, and he is. But as an actor, the guy's fucking phenomenal. I don't know what to tell you. It sucks. It sucks when you have to separate the art from the artist, but you got to right here.
You got to do it.
I think he is also equally like endearing to Howard's cause, and then transforms into a psychopath and delivers a comedy tour de force in the diner scene with his line deliveries.
Yes.
Leah Thompson, she is charming, beautiful also, I will say. And coming off of Back to the Future, which I'm a big fan of, since I was a kid, seeing her in this was just like double hell yes. Then she tries to get sexy with a short person. I was like triple hell yes, because I was imagining myself being Howard the Duck. No.
Getting your feathers in ruffled.
Oh yeah, they took 4 days to put them erect feathers down. And but I love all the performances. I think everyone does a great job. Not a perfect job, but damn near. And it's in service of the film. I don't feel like anyone's phoning it in any aspect, even the side characters like the bandmates, the managers. There's the goons at the bar that portray like the guys running the bar and the band manager's friends. Ginger keeps talking to some guy named Richie or whatever, but there's this one guy. I don't know if he gets a name in the movie, but that's one of the guys in the Super Mario Brothers movie from the 90s.
I wanted to get back into that one, but the special edition sold out, and now I can't get my hands on it.
But you remember Koopa's nephews, the two nephews?
It's been so long.
Oh man! Well,
I watched it like as a teenager because I loved it.
Yeah, it's been one of my, again, up there with this. I've got like a fucking list of 30 films or 40 or 50 films from when I was a kid that I'll just keep going back to. The original Mario movie with Bob Hoskins and
John Leguizamo.
John Leguizamo. Yes,
I will always love that movie. I don't care what it says.
So you remember the nephews of Koopa? Fucking Dennis Hopper. He had them two idiots that he had to keep fucking dealing with. One of those guys is one of the goons in the bar scene.
Okay.
Point being, everyone is serviceable, or more so in this movie, where they actually commit to their role. Like Leah Thompson is committed to her role. She's not like phoning it in. She's really about Howard. She's really about her band. She's really about fucking getting Howard to the end game. Jennings, again, Jeffrey Jones is a fucking twisted freak. Tim Robbins is a silly boy that is silly, and all of his beats are on point. Like when he walks in, he's like, I bought pizza for everybody, and then he sees Howard, he's like, oh, Howard, and he drops all the shit. He goes right.
Oh,
like,
Howard.
oh, Howard. Everyone is on point in their acting, I think. Is it top notch? Nah, but they're all on point.
I agree. And actually, you said no one's phoning it in. Absolutely not. I think they're doing incredible, especially when you realize that Howard wasn't talking during recording.
All ADR.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, somebody was reading the lines, not the person in the suit either. For a while, they had the puppeteer hooked up to a mic and he would do it, but there was also people like off behind camera reading the lines, and then Leah Thompson's reacting to the combed actor. That's impressive that she stayed in character playing these romantic scenes off. I'm impressed. But Travis, you covered the rest.
Hold on, pause. Did Tim
That
just
kind of
glitch?
blows my mind.
Can we pause for a second? Did Tim just glitch out for everybody?
Yeah, there was some lag going on.
Tim, can you restate what you did, please? Because for your recording,
Okay.
You might want to have it again.
I'm getting lightning strikes out here. I wonder if that has anything to do with it. Dang it. Oh, for a while they had somebody, the puppeteer for the mask would say the lines, or there would be someone standing off camera. But for the most part, whoever was in the costume was not speaking. They couldn't hear it. So for Leah to react off romantic scenes, off any scenes, not having a back and forth dialogue, that's impressive. That would be hard to do considering all of Howard's was done ADR. Howard wasn't even cast until most of the scenes were done. That was supposed to be Robin Williams. And he came a couple days on set. Nobody knows the real reason why he left. He said in an interview that the director was a difficult person, but everybody else says the director was very friendly.
Oh, I read why. He said what I read. What he said was that he was constricted. He's like, how am I supposed to?
Oh, it was the lip movement.
Yeah, he's like, I can't match that because I have to be me. Robin Williams is so animated. Like, what are you going to do with that? You can't nail him down. Whoever they got to do Howard in this movie did the best job they possibly could have done to me. Robin Williams would have been a difficult sell for this movie.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Even though he would have done a great job, though, as a voice actor. But if they can't match it to what the puppet is doing, the animatronics or whatever they're doing, it wouldn't have been. It would have been fucked up. Yeah.
I remember that now that you bring it up. But yeah, the acting is impressive. Other than that, I don't have anything to add to what Travis had. Everybody else in this movie delivers.
The one guy you were talking about, though, Travis, who was like one of the Koopa nephews, that was Richard Edson. Yeah, I've seen him. I used to see him play a lot of like B characters and a lot of stuff and like small cameos through like a lot of different films growing up. He's pretty cool.
I like him.
Yeah, he's a pretty good dude. He was like kind of an offbeat, kind of grungy street dude a lot of times, kind of like affable, kind of dumb, whatever.
He knows how to play. He knows He knows how to play that like goofy, dumb guy, like because he does that with the Koopa dude until they get smart when he does that. When Dennis Hopper does that reverse brain race shit,
yeah, turns him into a Goomba.
Well, no, he turns them into smarter versions of themselves.
Oh, wait, that's right. Yeah, forgot about that. Well,
if y'all ever do Mario Brothers, if y'all ever do it,
we will once I can get my hands on it.
Please.
The other Koopa nephew was the same guy that played the Plague in Hackers.
I've never seen Hackers.
What the?
Hack the World. I've never seen it.
Motherfuck.
Look, man, as many films as I've seen, I still have blind spots, all right?
Okay. I'll give you that. All right. Everyone's not going to
see the entire movie has played during this conversation.
I know, right? Yeah. But definitely watch fucking Hackers. Oh, my God. Awesome movie. Kick ass. Angelina Jolie rocking.
Shout out to Chuttle the Brian, who also told me the same thing.
Fucking A. Okay. All right. I'll let it go. But yeah, I'm saying with you guys, I like the acting. I enjoyed the delivery. It was very comical but fun, serious and sad at parts. Kind of touching and endearing. Kind of got a full spectrum of stuff going on in there, especially with Tim Robbins' craziness and just being kind of a dumbass at the beginning there with all those questions with Howard. Yeah, it was cool. I'm down with it. I liked it. I can't really be like shitting on anything for the acting.
Mm-hmm.
Even like the side little weird people, like the minor interactions were still fun and able to enjoy. Like even with the teacher, with all the kids that come up to him on the fountain once they're coming out of the museum and stuff, and he's telling them to take a hike and everything. Even those kids are like, oh my god.
Or the lady at the unemployment office, like we were saying, like she was awesome. Like there's a lot of great, like you said, Jonathan, side acting by the very small parts.
Owner.
Yeah. Great
stuff. That was gnarly as hell. Even like being so bold as to pick the dude up and throw him in the freaking tub. Like, what an asshole. But still, that seemed like it was some real shit for some crap like that back there. Oh, Cleveland. Is Tim? Ohio, man. It's an Ohio thing.
He thought the world was called Cleveland.
Yeah. Oh God, when he said that, I was like, oh yeah, what a weird place. It seems about right for this place. Oh no, it's Earth.
What you thought about the acting, Everoo?
So, of course, I can't give a score just yet, and I'm not going to try to ruffle any feathers. I thought it was pretty good. I thought the acting was good. Like it went with the whole.
He said it so nonchalant. That's what killed me. Oh, it's the duck puns, audience. The duck puns.
With like I said, script and acting kind of went hand in hand, toe in toe, web to web, if we could. It's
shut up, dude.
You said at the beginning we were going to get quackers, bro. Like, come on.
Oh my god.
I'm just trying to be quacktastic.
You're making my face hurt right now.
Hurt.
Oh my god.
Bust an egg, why don't you, bro?
I'm just trying to be sunny side up about this. If you,
dude, just take me over easy and finish
it. Just wing it.
Let me spill. Let me spill the yolk real quick. I'm pretty in between on the acting. They did good for what they were given. It's the 80s. It is what it is. I gave it a. You know what, Tim? I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I gave it a 3 out of 5.
Oh. Mm-hmm. When it comes to acting, I was a 3 out of 5 as well, because as much as the humans were great, I thought that Howard was just okay.
He was like, the puppets were not doing it for me. They couldn't act worth a shit.
I want more emotion from my puppets, and I just didn't feel it. There's something I didn't care. I like some of Howard's deliveries. I like some of them. I'm like, yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
So I was a 3 on the acting. I'm tempted to bring it up to a 4, because the fact that they were acting off like a puppet that wasn't speaking is impressive to me. And you guys bring up some of those other small bit parts. I'm up to a 4. I'm doing it. Cool. I think 3 is a little hard.
I appreciate that, Tim.
I'm a 4 as well.
The best in the flock. You guys are the best in the flock.
I'm a 4 also. Well, and not just because the main characters, but like all the people's character, like acting and like the interactions, all were pretty awesome. So yeah,
there's nothing in this movie that stands out to a 5, but everyone being on point makes it like hell yeah, right? Like they're right there with what the movie is, whatever this movie was trying to do, which, you could say earlier, I heard you out, Tim, like people didn't know whether this was and it was supposed to be a family friendly movie, by the way. It was like, that's what the studio wanted, but they still let it go as it was. So I guess maybe the 80s were fucking different and duck tits didn't matter, man. And condoms and duck
the
pockets
80s were gnarly, man.
Yeah.
Duck tits, condoms,
duck tits,
interspecies relationships.
Hey, that still happens.
I like that Jonathan caught that.
So you guys all gave it a 4?
Yeah. It's okay to give...
I guess I'm the odd duck out because I gave it a 3.
That's okay.
It's all right.
He was just setting it up for another
duck pun.
All right, the direction of this film.
Oh, can I give my whole review of this part in Quacks?
Oh, God.
Yes.
No, I'm not going to do that.
That'll save us some time.
I will ruin this episode if I do that. No.
I'm actually just gonna, instead of posting this entire episode, I'm just gonna do our whole intro and everything, and then it's just gonna be like stock footage of ducks quacking at a pond.
I do want to say,
it's like that episode of South Park where Randy was constantly listening to kids' music, Stan was listening to kids' music, and all he was hearing was pooping
farts.
Sounds.
Yeah,
farts.
Shit, diarrhea.
He didn't understand.
This music sounds like shit.
He didn't understand the new generation, bro.
No. All right, Travis, you want to kick off the direction? Who's got direction?
I'll go if you want me to.
Go for it.
Stellar. I don't know what to tell you. Look at what you have in front of you. You've got $30 million, $37 million, whatever the fucking report is about the budget. You have a Marvel, the first ever Marvel character to be put to screen.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, this was a passion project from George Lucas, which he handed off to people who were associates of his. Sorry, average audience. I'm a little payad. That's Cajun for drunk. You had actors and actresses, which I don't know if they like being called actresses anymore. I think they all want to be called actors at this point. I don't know what the Oscars still have actress performances, but I think they like all being called actors. So I don't know what the correct term
anymore.
No, well, I don't know what to say for that.
Because
but anyway,
name.
The actors and actresses in this film were all fucking tasked with, like Tim was saying, performing with the puppet that they can't fucking. It's not doing the damn thing on set. It's looking at them through the chin or at the chin. But you have puppetry. You have special effects. The first time that some digital effects are being used.
Mm-hmm.
You have a litany of stunt scenes. Fucking a story to tell here that was meant to be animated. It was meant to be animated. It was not
the wild part.
Yeah, it was not meant to be a live action film, and they somehow transformed it into a live action movie that, you know what? I looked at the Rotten Tomatoes, 13% critic, 30-something% audience. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Hashtag, y'all fucking watched it wrong. I don't know what to tell y'all.
White.
There it is.
That's better than nowadays Snow White.
What's the new Snow White? Well, you know, I don't personally know what the backlash of that movie is all about, but I do know it exists.
It's Rachel Zegler's underbite.
Well, that's not cool. Is it really that?
No.
Oh,
no, not at all. I'm just.
Well, I don't want to get into why, but
yeah.
Because at this point,
Gal Gadot is a terrible actor.
Mm-hmm.
I liked her as Wonder Woman.
Me too.
Yeah, apparently that's the only thing she's good at.
Well,
is what people are saying about this movie.
They find a niche.
Yep.
Yeah. So
I'd watch her as Wonder Woman all day.
Mm-hmm.
Me too, brother.
I'll watch her on the Nile as well.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Snow White stuff aside, I don't know
Sorry,
what people.
Travis.
No, you're good. I don't know what people were doing in the 80s when they fucking slept on this fucking awesome movie that was fun. I don't know, why it does have a cult following at this point, but it's still
Mhm.
small. But I hope that we're part somewhat tonight of because no one sounds like they hate this movie. So I'm hoping that tonight we're part of that cult following that's like, yeah, man, Howard the Duck's worth a rewatch. The direction on this movie is awesome. The guy, what's his name again? Willard
Hoik.
Hoyk.
Like,
Willard.
Oink!
He-
Oh, yuck! I'll fucking do it again.
I'll do it again. I'll kill him. Yeah, dude. Well, he had a lot on his plate, and I think this person did a great fucking job making a movie that is more than serviceable. This movie is awesome, man. The direction's great. I don't know what to tell you about I don't know what to tell you about this other than good job. Let me say his name right for once. Willard Hoyk. Right?
Hoik.
sounded
Hoyk.
kind of like Goofy.
Yeah, that was right. That was right.
You did a great job, man. And I hope that he's old now. He lost his wife a few years ago. He's still out there just being old. And I want you to know you did a fucking awesome job. If you ever hear this, my friend, you did the damn thing, cuz thanks for
I
the
don't know how you
memories.
follow that up.
All I can say is duck it or fuck it.
fuck the ducket. Wait, what?
Duck it or fuck it.
Are you Leah Thompson? You're gonna fuck the duck
Oh no, not me.
in the comics.
I want to be the duck in that situation.
dude. Oh my god, yeah.
It'll be the duck of your dreams.
Oh,
Oh shit. Direction,
Yeah,
everybody. Direction.
you said about all we could about the direction. The first time I watched this, I thought the direction was terrible. And that's because it had no real flair. But after watching this numerous times, the no real flair, the flair is these huge set pieces, this advanced special effects for this kind of movie, handled in a way that doesn't detract from the movie, but enhances it, makes it part of the experience. Yeah, I agree. Hoyk did a great job directing this film. I think he struggled to maybe pull it all together. Hoyk.
Look, Evan. Look, Evan's dying again. Evan,
Yeah,
laugh
he's
on the
losing
mic. Laugh on the mic, Evan. Yeah, give him that, man.
Need that soundbite, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
Oh.
Dude, Willard Hyouk was like, I'll direct it again. Howard the Duck sequel. Yeah, dude. I'm sorry too.
Oh,
All right, for duck's sake, we're just gonna give our score. Let's just give our scores for direction. He did a good job. Where are we all at?
Three.
A 4.
5.
See,
5.
I'm a 3 as well. All right, the it factor.
Oh, shit.
I want to hear Jonathan. I want to hear you. It factor this.
Oh boy, howdy, it factor. Well, man.
Just because I can see your score, so I want to hear.
Oh wow, why did I give it that score? No, for real. No. As far as it factor goes, I mean, we've said it multiple times already. It's the first Marvel film in essence. It truly is.
Yeah,
you guys are still losing your shit.
It's so I want to tell the listeners of the Average Podcast about this little skit that's out there on YouTube where Goofy is on trial for murder. Tim, if you can find it, please put this in the show notes because it's worth it and the audience will probably enjoy looking. It's like a minute and a half long video.
That's it. It's very quick.
Yeah, it's very quick. It's not a whole thing you got to dedicate your life to, but it's just a minute and a half of Goofy on trial for murder, and it's worth it. It's so worth it. Sorry. That's what we're losing our shit over.
Okay, well, I'll stop. I'll stop. I promise.
Jonathan, back to the effect.
Right. So with it being like the first Marvel film and how that kind of paves the way for thing, and then the callbacks that you get in Guardians of the Galaxy and how that kind of reignites, the flair and passion for Howard the Duck as a character, is pretty awesome. Cause a lot of people are really wanting to see something more from that little cameo. Like, and there's not just one. I think they featured him in like a small clip in another one as well as one of the other Guardian end credits or something.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's based on a comic book that was really popular back in the day, and like how people were in such an uproar about the image of Howard the Duck in the movie versus the comic book, shows there was a lot of people who really cared about that. And then, I think that's a pretty good thing, man. I think that really sits well for how significant it is to people, especially within the comic book community, and like that need for consistency and maintaining character standards. So maybe they didn't quite get what they wanted out of that as far as the character in the movie, but the fact that they still made a movie about him, that it's still talked about, that it's like one of the big things, like early on from like when George Lucas was doing his thing. I mean, there's a lot that plays into that. And I don't know, man, I would love to go to Comic-Cons and like see Howard the Duck like cosplay stuff. I think that'd be pretty cool. And I'm pretty sure someone out there's done it. Probably been some weird kinky like female versions of it out there,
Oh no.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you never know, man. It's just some weird stuff out there in the world. But
I mean, I'm not hating on like duck tits. I'm just saying like because I like them in this movie. I like both times. Again, when I was a kid,
duck tits in this movie.
I saw them duck tits and I was like, yeah, dude.
Weird duck feather
the circumference of those areolas.
Dude, I liked them. I liked them. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie on this shit.
Those are over easy.
It's okay. But like then you think about how that brings about options for other duck themed characters, because you had like DuckTales, Darkwing Duck.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys remember, some of you probably won't. I'm not sure. Maybe Travis might. Back in the 80s on Nickelodeon, or not Nickelodeon, maybe. I don't remember what show, what network it was on, but it was Count Duckula. He didn't live off blood. He lived off of ketchup.
Yeah.
And he has the servants and the weird Transylvanian castle.
I don't remember Count Duckula, man. That's wild. No.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, look it up, man. Count Duckula. And it was super badass. I love that.
So there's a whole duck culture like under the surface that needs duck content out there.
Yeah, there's a thing for it out there, and you see like different iterations, and people like have been doing different kind of duck themed art, and not just Howard the Duck, but there's all kinds of different stuff to mix it up out there with. And then like bands like Psycho Stick, they have a song called Quack Kills, and it's awesome. I highly recommend checking it out. Psycho Stick is fantastic. It's off their album.
Let's go drink some beer.
Or Revenge of the Vengeance. Yes, same band.
Yeah,
absolutely. Man, I love
beer is good. Beer is good.
Good.
And stuff.
Yeah. Oh, man. Obey the Beard, Because Boobs. Psycho Stick has a plethora of amazing songs.
I'm a big Psycho Stick fan. Yeah.
I've seen them live. I've partied with them at my buddy's house after the show.
What?
Nice. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Nice. Rob even threw a can out in the crowd and hit me with it. And I was like, sweet, Rob, Green Lantern t-shirt. Oh. No, they were cool dudes, though, man. I actually ended up getting they gave us like a shitload of like Psycho Stick matchboxes, and I've still got some of them. So I was like, if I need a lot of candle, I got some Psycho Stick matches, bro. Yeah,
that's nice.
Yeah, so there's an impact there. It kind of stretches out, maybe not quite as much as it might seem, but it's there, and I think there's room for that to build.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jonathan made some arguments that I can't counter because I didn't know that much about duck culture, and that there was some duckness that needed to be like a duck hole that needed to be filled.
Duck Dynasty.
Some kind of
and that's Cajun country you're talking about. So, but yeah, I didn't quite see it the same way he did. I saw this more as like a forgotten gem, mostly forgotten. And when he made a cameo in Guardians of the Galaxy, it was just again, like actual true fans who are now making the movies that grew up reading the comics, putting that in there. and they stayed true to the comic more so than this movie. So for this movie, the it factor for this movie specifically is what I'm speaking
Quack
on.
factor for the movie.
The quack factor, yes.
The quack factor.
It's I don't think it's for this movie is strong. I think this movie is a forgotten gem. Some fans who grew up with it will remember it fondly. Maybe some people will come to it from seeing Guardians and finding out there was already a movie made. Does it permeate pop culture? No. No, I would say not at all. Almost zero. But Jonathan, the things you said made me like kind of question that, but that goes more into duck stuff, not so much this movie. Ducks are just kind of a thing, I guess. I think
if we can all just pull out our old
might just like ducks.
And we can duck hunt together.
And duck hunt, yeah, exactly.
That was
duck
a line in the movie too.
Like,
how am I supposed to explain manpower for hunting a duck? It's like, oh, it's a duck hunt. It's like, no, please don't.
As soon as it was said, I was like,
there.
oh shit.
So if we're not giving our score right now, I'll leave it right there.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you. Like I said, before The Room was made, before 2025's Snow White remake was made, this was on the list of worst movies ever made, apparently. So I think that is like the reverse of the it factor. Like that is very low to be considered that across the board, almost unanimously, was not well received. Fans didn't like it. Box office sales bombed. I'm pretty sure they didn't even make their budget back.
They made 16 million off a 30 to 37 million dollar budget.
So they lost half their budget roughly. Yeah. So it hurt. Watching the interviews I was watching, they were all worried they could find work after this. Leah Thompson was like, she said it affected her career, not drastically, but she said the next movie she went to,
she was damn good looking, so she didn't have to worry about it.
She had Caroline in the City in the 90s.
Well, she's been trying to pimp over the last like decade. She's been trying to pimp a reboot or a sequel with her as the director.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she wants to direct a Howard the Duck sequel or reboot. I don't know what I read, but I read something like that. She pitched it to Marvel. They said, we like it, but we have plans for Howard the Duck in the future. So that is saying that Marvel, well, they could be lying, but they might also have plans for Howard in the future since they dropped him in a few movies here and there as cameos. Yeah. They might actually have a plan for him. And I hope she's involved.
I hope she is too.
That would be cool.
Yeah, but I hope so. Yeah, she said that coming off of this, her next film, she was insecure as an actor. She didn't think she could act anymore.
Wow.
The director never directed another movie. This was it.
Oh, wow.
He did this and was done.
It's only because he was George's friend.
Yeah. He probably didn't need to direct another movie. The writers also didn't put their name on credits after this film.
Damn.
They made this film, they wrote this film, and then anything they wrote after, they didn't put their names on. This film basically killed their careers.
Jesus.
While it made others, like we said with Tim Robbins, it killed others. And I don't really understand that. I don't think this movie's that bad.
Right. Stand on business. Stand on Howard Duck business, bitch. Like, don't fucking bow down.
Yeah, I don't think this movie is that bad. However, I am in the camp that I think this movie is so bad it's good. I think just enough went wrong that it works in ways that it shouldn't. Like, it wasn't intended to work the way it came out. But because of the immensely negative response, it didn't really find that cult following until Guardians of the Galaxy, until 2010. And then they did a Blu-ray release of it after that, and it's starting to catch on. It was on Tubi last year. I think that was the first time I saw it. But then it started to get that cult following.
Watch The Gracie Strangler.
Oh God. Well, I was gonna watch 10 years from now. This movie is beloved. Watch.
Oh, I tell my friends this is the greatest thing Marvel has ever released. So this beats.
And you know what's crazy is, you know, when I looked up a little bit of thought on it was, I guess that Captain America was the first one in 1944, but it wasn't Marvel at the time.
It was a serial release in theaters. It wasn't a movie. So like this
it was.
Yeah, it was a serial that would play before movies. This is the first actual movie cinematic based on a Marvel character. So yes, they did have other Marvel characters in the theaters before Howard the Duck, but not as a full feature length film like this was.
Okay,
and that's the other thing.
I thought it was something.
No, it's good trivia to bring up because they did have other Marvel characters. It's I think it's worth noting because this movie gets so shit on by every fucking nerd out there that it's like this movie was the first Marvel movie basically. Like this is the one. And as bad as it is, and like Tim said, it turns the wagon around to going from so bad it's good. I don't know if I would say it's an 11 out of 10, which is on the nightclub when something's so bad it's good, we give it that. I don't think I would do that with this because it's so competent. To me, an 11 out of 10 is...
We're not there to give it the whole...
We're not on final scores.
Are we?
Oh, okay.
We're almost there.
We're right there, baby.
Evan, It Factor?
It Factor?
I was a 2.
I gave it a 2.
I'm a 2.
I give it a 2.
I gave it a 2 as well.
I was like, there's not really anything today that I see that says anything about Howard the Duck. You know, it's all about Iron Man or Hulk, this, and that. But like right now, it's all Doctor Doom, trying the reintroduction of the Fantastic Four for the third fucking time. And I'm like, you guys failed. You guys failed twice. Why fucking go a third time? Why the fuck not, Marvel? I think Disney's just trying to collect all the pin cushions and pieces that they can after the flop of Disney. Which, you know, of course, Disney owns Marvel, so they're just like fucking pump. And that's the fucking problem.
Yep.
With a lot of movies nowadays, you know, like you'll like look at horror movies, A24, this and that. Yeah, of course they have their flops, but some studios, they take their fucking time. They take their time, and that's how you get a good movie. If you want to pump them out every year to every 2 years, sometimes you ain't gonna have that great of an effect, unless you're Terrifier.
You talk about Marvel?
Yeah,
but
and Disney.
Shit. Well, Disney. Dude. I agree.
We don't need to dive into Disney
with the sentiment, but man, all these companies make buku bucks. All right, my bad. All right.
All right, Jonathan, did you give your It Factor?
No, I'm still shocked that you guys would flap your wings at me in such a way with your low scores. But either way, just fly away, bird, fly away.
Shoo, get out of here.
Like I said, I'm a little on the high horse here. I'm riding the thermal updraft here, and I'm sitting at 4.
Okay. All right, so now this is the part, Travis, where we give our entertainment out of 10 and our final scores, and we just wrap up what we are doing.
You said my name. You want me to go first?
You can.
Yeah, man. I wouldn't go, like I was saying a minute ago, I wouldn't go so far to say that this is an 11 out of 10 because the way I rate an 11 out of 10 is a movie that doesn't know what it's like. They're trying to do something, but they're not competent enough, and they make a lot of mistakes. So it's so bad it's good. this movie was competent. This was well made. Like no one here was out of their element, or even if they encountered problems, it's just this movie was well made. It's not a fucking joke. So to say it's an 11 out of 10 for me would be a lie. This is a 10 out of 10 though. This entertainment value, nostalgic value, rewatchability, amazing. It hits on every level. Does everything have to be perfect for it to be a 10 out of 10? Obviously not, because I gave you lower scores than 5s all the way around. But I'm still going to come in with the 10 because watching it again today, I was like, yeah, like I have no grand enough issue with this movie that I'm going to be like, fuck this. It's an 8 out of 10. It's a 9 out of 10. It could be. I'm not saying it can't be for somebody else. But for me, from when I saw this as a kid to watching it now, it's fucking awesome, dude. Howard the Duck with his little fucking stupid eyeballs that look like glass and his
human looking eyes.
Oh my God. Too much sometimes. But also the expressions they got out of these I assume it's animatronics versus not versus, but coupled
Those
with
are real eyes.
Oh, that's some real human eyes.
They just put real human eyes.
They had to keep like dropping tears into them and shit.
They're pulling on nerves to get them to move.
They had a real Howard. They actually got a Howard the Duck from Duck World in this movie. Everything about this, man, the special effects, the acting, not so much the music. Again, the music, but again, the movie as a whole elevates itself for me.
Lewis.
Huh?
I said, oh wait, you never saw that damn movie. Never mind. Just ignore my fucking stupid ass comment.
The movie as a whole is super entertaining. It's never not been, and it never not will. Wait, how do you say that?
Never will, won't be.
Never will not be.
I follow. I know.
Yeah, it will never not be a 10 out of 10. I love Howard the Duck. It's in my heart, and it's going to stay there.
But
Okay.
So on my own thought is, so I have it as a 6 out of 10, but that's just me from the podcaster view doing what I do. But in my heart of hearts, I would give it a fucking 10 out of 10 because it is what it is. It had my heart when I was a kid, and to become able to come back when you texted me and said, hey, would you be able to do this? And I was like, dude, I haven't seen that in forever. But
were you glad to revisit it?
Absolutely was I glad to revisit it. Yeah. Yeah, man. I was like, dude, it's been 20 years plus since I've seen it. So yeah, it was really nice to come back, revisit it, and I'm glad that you brought it to me. So I would give it a 10 out of 10 on that scale. Of course, my podcast part of me would put it as a 6 out of 10, but that's just me being an asshole.
Okay.
Wow.
I think that's fair. But your final score all tallied up. Did you see it?
I saw him. I saw him.
I didn't see my tallied score up.
In the chitty chat?
33.
33. Sounds about right.
For the average, which is out of what?
50.
33 out of, and I was a 40 out of 50.
So that's essentially 4 stars out of 5.
But can I change that to say 5 out of 5 though?
No, that's the 10. That's the 10 out of 10 you gave it. That's your enjoyment factor.
Oh, so that's the only thing that matters.
The what?
The 10 out of 10.
No,
it's the only thing that matters.
It's the scores that you make up as you're going through the 3s, the 4s.
I understand the point system, but I'm trying to bring it up as much as I can.
It is to establish a fair, I don't want to say fair, kind of a gauge on how good a movie is, not just based on feelings.
So Okay, well, based on that, the 40 would be accurate, but in my heart, it's a 10 out of 10.
Right.
Yeah.
That's your entertainment.
Yeah, entertainment value is worth the price of admission times 10. Yeah.
If I may say, my co-host as well, I asked him about it. I said, "Hey man, I'm about to fucking review this. Tell me what you got." He said, "Howard the Duck is a 10 out of 10. It's the kind of film you want to show your girlfriend's dad before asking for her hand in marriage." Then you would tell him your kids are going to be raised on this film and RoboCop. If he questions you, then you hit him with a sock filled with pool balls and scream, "I'm the daddy now." It's just that damn good.
Oh my gosh.
Shout out to
awesome.
Ian. Shout out to Ian, the motherfucking kill from the Kill in the Redneck.
Mike Ronabay, I love you, bud.
That's
I can't wait to see you on Sunday.
Wow. So for me, for entertainment factor, I was a 9 out of 10. Like I said, a lot of love on this from being a kid and like all the crazy and just, Leah Thompson being hot and me being all like, oh,
yeah, well,
whatever.
When she went down there on those damn underwear, I did not see
oh,
that
brother,
about that.
Whoa, this movie goes hard, brother.
I'm telling you, this is a little more of a family-friendly film.
My puberty was late. So when I saw it this time, I was like, "Oh,
I was a kid. I was a child, and I was like, she's amazingly hot." But whatever. But yeah, so I gave 9 out of 10, and overall, with everything combined, I was sitting at a 38. Yeah.
Yeah. She said in an interview that her first big break was Back to the Future, where she was trying to sleep with her son. And then the movie she followed that up with was Howard the Duck, where she was trying to sleep with a duck. So she was like, I was really confused in my early years.
Oh, man.
Oh, poor her.
Damn, Leah.
All right. So for me, my entertainment is an 8 out of 10. I know I've been pretty critical of this film, but I love this film. I still do. It's just not. I think it has points where it dips for me, where my attention drifts. It's not super engaging consistently all the way through. Honestly, I think the movie's 20 minutes too long. I think you shave 20 minutes of this film, and we're right at 90, and that's what this movie should be. 90 minutes, done. As it is, it's pushing 2 hours, and it's just a bit too long for this type of movie.
About 30 minutes too long.
Yeah. So I say 90-minute movie, 90-minute Howard the Duck, the supercut. I'm all in for that. And then this movie might have a better score for me. It might trim some of those parts that I think my attention wanes. It might trim some of the weak script moments. But I still enjoy the crap out of this movie. I love the puppetry. I love the performances. Leah Thompson, as we've all said. It's just fun. It's a world I kind of want to live in.
I saw Jonathan
1980s America.
Jonathan was shaking his head no when you were saying.
I had no problem with the running time. I mean, yeah, you could have cut out like the nuclear reactor scene part.
No,
maybe you didn't really need
it's
all
so
that.
good. I like that.
Maybe could have cut down the flight escape time on the little.
You could cut that a little. Yeah,
that scene goes for 15 minutes.
You could cut. You could cut that. I'll be honest. Yeah, that's the one part of the movie, guys, on this rewatch where I started getting bored. I was like,
yeah.
Can we get to the next part? Like, do we have to land on a truck? Was that cool? Yeah. Do we need it? No.
Yeah,
like we can go from them to doing that to the next thing. Yes, the runtime could get cut down. It could.
Yep. But that's just where I'm at. I did trim a couple minutes on it, and I think it comes out a little bit better, but I still really enjoy this movie. I mean, I own it on Blu-ray because it's a great movie and it's not streaming very many places. So you got to be able to watch your Howard the Duck. I revisited it probably once a year since discovering it 2 years ago.
Nice.
And when I first watched it 2 years ago, my review for it was worse, by the way.
Oh.
My review for it 2 years ago, I still have it. My review for it 2 years ago said Howard the Duck is a movie that doesn't work, yet its 80s charm kept me engaged. Great performances by Leah Thompson, leads a middling cast in a comic book movie focused on special effects and nothing more.
Now that you say
That's what I said 2 years ago.
You're the fact that you own it on Blu-ray and that you watch it once a
Are
year,
you eating crow?
that 8 out of 10 is gonna come up and up and up.
Every time.
Yeah.
Maybe. But my final score, what was my final score? Dang it. 32. So right around 3 stars. That makes our average among the 4 of us a 35. Or
Wait, don't you mean the
3.5.
5 of us? Didn't the other dude give a score? Or was it
He
just
just gave us a 10.
Oh, Ian gave it a 10 out of 10. He gave it all the way through 5 out of 5s. All the way through. That's all your points. If you want
so
to put it in
so
there.
he gave his total's a 50 then basically.
Yeah.
Oh
He
shit!
scored it a perfect movie.
Damn.
Okay.
Okay.
Good job, Ian.
I'll put it in there.
You did
I'll
what
put it
I
in
wanted
there.
to do, but could not do.
All right. I'm redoing the math now with
Oh,
a perfect
shit.
score added in.
Math.
Divided by 5. That takes it up to a 38.6 or a 39, which would be a 4 stars out of 5.
Whoa!
Damn.
Let's go, bitch.
That's why your score can change the average. That's what we're all about. You submit your score, that changes the final result. So even though I'm over here being
Thanks, babe.
somewhat of a hater on a movie I actually
No.
really enjoy,
Not a hater.
I just don't
You're just
think
critical, that's all.
Dude,
like,
8 out of 10
that
is,
movie.
that's a great score, though.
Yeah, I enjoy the crap out of this movie. I just don't think it's.
No, it's not.
necessarily remarkable.
It's not the
So-
best. Even though I give it a 10 out of 10 from my like overall enjoyment. Is it the best movie? Fuck no. But it's just if you grew up with it, and then maybe if you see it later in life and you have that openness to that kind of weirdness. But
Oh,
not
I do.
everybody. But not everybody does. You know, like
I'll tell you
they
what
don't.
What it makes me want to do is start watching old 80s movies, like movies I hadn't seen in so fucking long. Was like talking with you guys is watching Never Ending Story. I
Yeah,
haven't seen that in forever.
brother,
All
I got
watch is 80s movies anymore.
I got a list for you, man. Dark Crystal, Never Ending Story.
Yeah. Oh, we just had Dark Crystal on the other day, and then we hit up the Dark Crystal 2, I think it was.
What's the series on Netflix?
Yeah.
Yeah. Me and my
That's
kids.
right.
Oh yeah.
This is our plug, unintentional plug for our childhood fantasy series coming out in August, I believe.
Sorry.
So we're
Sorry.
covering Dark Crystal, Never Ending Story. Travis will be back for that. I don't know, Evan. We might have to get you on Dark Crystal. We'll see.
There's Lee Thompson in the background.
I could be back for any of those movies, by the way, but I know y'all need other guests besides just my ass.
Yeah.
All right.
Everything up.
Well, Travis and Evan, thank you so much for joining us, especially in what was put together last minute to fill a vacant spot on our list.
Fellas, I appreciate you guys having us.
Yeah.
So why
It
don't
was a good time.
you both need to tell people where they can find you?
Travis, would you like to go first, brother?
Yeah, I'm part of the Nightclub podcast. You could find us on Instagram, Twitter, or X, Threads, Facebook, the Slasher app, which is the basically Facebook of horror. You can do whatever there. We're also on Discord. We have a server, a community that is pretty fun. You could find the average bopping around in there, doing their damn thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's basically it. Anywhere you get podcasts, you could find the Nightclub. We do horror movies, and we're starting to branch out. We're going to do a bunch of stuff coming up in the future. So
Yeah, you just did one that was not horror.
yeah, well, we're coming up. Well, at the time of this recording, but maybe once it's released, we'll have heavyweights out, and then we're going to start doing fourth wall content on the regular show, which is conspiracies, true crime, wrestling, Dragon Ball, Elder Scrolls, Warhammer, like a bunch of stuff. So if you're a nerd like us, you might find something there for you.
All right, Evan.
So I'm Evan from the The kilt and the redneck. We just pretty much were two guys, a Scotsman and a redneck from Tennessee. We just sit around, talk about movies. We talk about music. This next coming up month, we've got a whole bunch of, I suppose you'd call them crime films. Departed. We've got Sin City. We've got a little bit of lineup. And then of course Ian's birthday is coming up, so we got Terminator to go with it. So a little bit of action,
as someone who's been on the
this.
Kilt and the Redneck, I highly recommend listening to that show.
We have fun, just easy going. You're not gonna. We don't follow any policy. We just fucking go with it and just ride the flow of the ocean, because that's how it goes.
And I want to shout out the Average on the Average podcast itself.
Absolutely.
Nightclub mentions the Average almost every damn episode. It seems like lately. I've been editing, like I edit the show, so I listen back and I'm like, we seem to fucking bring you guys up like every time, which is cool. And the same.
I feel like we bring you up a lot.
Like it's cool. Like we have this little community of friends and stuff. And I've gotten to meet Jonathan in person. I hope to meet Tim and Evan very soon in person. And guys,
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for having me on the Average yet again. It's always a pleasure. I'm sorry it's so difficult to have me on because of the complications, technical issues, but
I'm just going to send you a new laptop.
Hooray, technology!
I won't be opposed to that. I will not be opposed to that. Thank y'all so much, guys.
Yeah, I do appreciate you guys. Tim, Jonathan, I do believe we've got you guys up on a couple episodes.
I believe we're talking some Tarantino, aren't we?
We're talking some Tarantino.
I'll be there.
Remind me, I'm down. I love me some Tarantino.
Fellas, we'll have you guys soon, and I appreciate you guys letting me on here. And I know Ian appreciates you letting me on here as well. So appreciate you guys.
Absolutely loved having you both. Well, folks, that's going to do it for our deep duck dive into one of the strangest comic book adaptations of all time. Whether you were quacking up with us or shaking your head in disbelief, we appreciate you waddling along for the ride. So huge thanks to everyone who stuck it out through the feathers, lasers, and foul humor. Don't forget to leave us a review, unless it's duck-billed. Then maybe rethink it. And until next time, remember, this is The Average, where the real review happens with your friends. See ya.